McCarty and Neil Rule can give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
And welcome into the Wednesday edition of Big D Energy.
Big D!
Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. He is on the road yet again with Oakland University. I had no idea the radio guy for Oakland University got treated so well.
Yeah, no.
Like, dude got a ring, too. Did you see?
Yeah.
You see
A nice ring.
Like, he's getting rings. They put him up in hotel rooms. They fly him around to different cities.
It's the golden voice.
That's Oakland University.
Hey.
Don't be mad because it's not Mercy, man. Don't be mad because it's not
UAD needs to we need a private jet at UAD or something. Like, we got to get
private
relevant.
jet in the middle of the hood like that.
Yeah. Okay. Chopper then. Chopper better.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper.
The team just takes.
Right. Yeah. Look.
Dude, I always said that. A helicopter would be perfect for this state.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You can get everywhere.
Yeah. Darren McCarty to my left, wearing the Red Wings jersey. KG, you didn't quite get the Red Wings memo, but you're in the red and white and black.
I didn't. Yeah.
That's a dope
I'm in the
hoodie.
colors. Thank you.
I fucked that hoodie
The Chinese letters represent unity. It says unity. So
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I read the caption before I bought it.
Oh,
Yeah.
the caption told. But did you actually
am I
read?
supposed to go off?
You know what Chinese person's like, that says I'm an idiot. Right. I love those where they see like people's tattoos and they're like, that's not what that means.
Yeah. Spend more racks in the TD booth wearing a Red Wings jersey.
Shout out.
Big shout out.
I did not get the memo today. I'm sorry. I'm rocking the Woodward baseball jersey in honor of the bullshit offer to Tariq Skubal.
Yeah, there was no memo. It's just me and D-Mac, you know.
Just vibe and you want to see the
Two
universe
peas in a pod.
frequencies.
Yeah.
And look at Kenny's wearing red and white too, Spenny. So
you
he
already
sort
know
of
me and
was,
you.
know,
This side
this
of the
big
room
the
be on
energy
point.
crew, which you are a part of, Stick. But you know what? You're too busy out there with the incidentals, and maybe it's hanging out with the ants too much.
That's
Maybe.
fair.
That's what it is. It's the ants and rub. Or
Well, I
the
didn't
ants
tell
and
you.
rub.
There is a Gordie Howe jersey in the back signed. I'll go break the glass
Well,
and put that bitch on
case
right
of
now.
Break glass in case of emergency. I mean, hey, what do we got? 10,000 viewers? You'll do it?
Yeah.
10,000 likes. I'll go break the Gordie Howe autographed jersey glass and wear it. Anyways, lots of stuff to discuss today. Spenny, you put together a hell of a rundown. We got top 5 video games coming up
Yes.
of all time.
All-time favorite of
What
your
you deem
favorite
is your
of all
all-time favorite.
time. It could be an arcade game.
Yeah.
It could be a machine. It could be whatever. And what I like, and even with Neil here, but we span a lot of time, generations. Like Spenny's the same age as my son Griffin as a 96. I didn't grow like Stick and I'm older than Stick, but it didn't grow up with any system or whatever. I remember when Atari or Intellivision
ColecoVision
came out. Like honestly, I'll give you one right now.
See, these kids don't know D-Man.
No, I do.
Honorable mention, right, goes out to Intellivision baseball,
Yo.
which you would never play today. You would never play.
Yeah.
The
Because
swinging
it's,
bat.
the
show today,
it's
I'm
just so
sorry.
stupid. But back then,
Yep.
it was awesome. So
All
we're
of
gonna
it was
have
awesome.
fun with
Yeah.
that list. So get your list in.
No, and that's D-Mac. How old are you?
52. I'll be 52.
Okay, so you're 9 years older than me. How old are you, KG?
32.
Okay, so you're 11 years younger than me, and Spenny, you're 28.
Yes, I am.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna span the realm because my first gaming, like the first one I actually remember owning was the first Nintendo. I got that when I was like 6 years old.
Yeah.
But my
The
family had
NES.
Atari. Like I remember going to my boys' houses playing
Hey, here's a
Atari,
question.
ColecoVision, and all that stuff.
Here's a question I want you to think about, right? Which and when you do your list, is which system have you put in the most time, or was your favorite?
Game Boy Advance.
Like, what's your
PlayStation
favorite? Like
2.
what I like just
PlayStation 2. Easy.
PlayStation.
Yeah, PlayStation 2. I
It's
think is the
PS2
best
was
system.
like-
Sega CD.
Nintendo 64.
So y'all don't know about
N64.
Sega CD.
Nah. I
But
know
I-
about Sega Genesis, though. I had a Sega
Sega
Genesis.
CD.
I had a Game Gear, too, man. I ain't
Game
playing.
Gear. Game Gear
the
was
Sega
sweet.
Game Gear was sweet,
I
man.
by far put the most hours into Game Boy.
Yeah, Game Boy.
Because my parents would put me to sleep, you know, and I'd be under the covers playing the Game Boy. My dad would come in. I told you to fucking go to sleep.
You can't
But think
do that with
about
that
how
dark
far
screen.
that's
Yeah.
come.
screen was dark as
Would you
shit.
play a Game Boy today with all the
The little
graphics?
light you plug into the top.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. Yeah.
I had a Jurassic Park one.
Oh, they had all the accessories. They were smart, Nintendo,
Oh,
for all
for
the
sure.
the kids who had to hide it. It's, you know what it was like? Like, you go back, it's when Maz was young and he had to hide under the covers with his radio.
Yeah.
No, I mean, seriously.
You mean a candle and his book?
Yeah, the fireside chats that Maz used to have in the
man, going
FDR
down
days.
third, see?
NES, Sega
see?
Genesis, Dreamcast.
And so I think the best console of all time is between N64 and PS2 for me.
Absolutely.
PlayStation, you know the last game that came out for PlayStation 2 was FIFA 14?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like-
PlayStation 2 was sweet.
No, the
It's
game catalog for PlayStation 2 is like endless.
Unfuckwittable.
Like,
Yeah.
for real.
So
it was
insane.
like over 1,800 games.
That's
easy.
why it was so hard for me to narrow. I play a lot of video games.
Yep.
It was really hard for me to narrow it down. To
It was
5.
hard for me too.
Yeah.
Like once I named them, and then I went back through and I added 2 and took 2 out. So yeah, there's a lot to go on. It's gonna be a fun topic. When do we do that?
We can do that at 11:56.
11:56. So make sure you're sticking around
Top of
for
the
that.
hour.
I did
But first, we got to talk about the Pistons winning last night in overtime.
And how they did it, I think, is because usually does this feel like the tide's changing a little bit, and if anybody who isn't up to speed went into overtime, there was 1 second left, the game was tied, and for whatever reason, Eric Spoelstra, NBA title holder, rings, 17-year veteran coach, calls a timeout with no timeouts, a la the Chris Webber back in Michigan.
Yep.
sort of
Jalen Rose,
played,
shout out.
has a brain fart, gives us a free throw, and we cash in and win. And am I right? Are we 1-0 in the cup?
Yeah, 1-0 plus
Yep.
2, but nobody else has played in our division. But still,
It doesn't matter.
we're winning.
Don't matter.
We're winning. Mid-season champions, baby.
Yes,
Your
sir.
Detroit
Hey,
Pistons.
dude, that would be
Taking
sweet.
advantage and not being on the receiving end of that, to me, that's,
It was a nice win, but can we acknowledge that they blew a 9-point lead with 1:11 left to go in the fourth quarter?
Yep.
Like, they were up. They had this game. It was over, and they just kind of took their pedal off the gas. Tyler Hero went out and just absolutely shot the lights out, and all of a sudden it's a tie game going into overtime. And they were losing in overtime by 2 points till a great play by JB Bickerstaff, drawing that up out of bounds play. They put Cade to inbound the ball, which I know some people were confused about, but he was able to get the lob to Duren on a double pick. Him going around, Duren looked like Superman fly, like he looked like Dwight Howard flying
really
through
did.
the air.
Yeah.
Grabbed that ball with 2 hands, tied the game. Spoelstra runs out on the court, timeout to set up his offense, move the ball to half court.
Doesn't
You don't
happen.
have one.
Yep.
Tie game. Now we get a free throw. And I like the exchange between Malik and Cade about getting to the free throw line to shoot that. Like, Malik ran there, and he looked back at Cade, and Cade's like, okay, you can shoot it.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, you missed Tim Hardaway Jr. for a couple of reasons throughout that game, but that's an important one. Tim Hardaway Jr. He suffered a pretty nasty elbow and then hit his head off the hardwood, but he's fine. The CAT scan was fine. He's probably going to go through some concussion stuff. He'll probably miss a game or two, but he'll be fine in the long run. So shout out to him. But he's a 93% free throw shooter on his career, so you'd really love to have him out there. But Malik also high 80s on his career. He went down there and knocked it down. Malik Beasley also hit a huge 3-pointer to tie the game. So yeah, shout out to him. Cade, too many turnovers, but you got the dub, so that's all that matters, really.
Yeah, crazy, because they were replaying the game this morning when I got up and, getting the girls off to school and all that stuff. And, there's 1.8 seconds left on the clock. The Pistons are down by 2. And my wife's like, how did they win this game? I'm like, just wait. Watch this.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this. And, for Spoelstra to make that kind of mental error, obviously very rare. Like you said, the guy's a championship-level coach, but man, you cannot do that to your team. And what's it like? Have you ever been a part of a situation where your coach literally cost you the game? What's the tone in the locker room? Because
put you down a couple guys, has been like that, but you don't look at it like in the moment it sucks, but you. Like, it's almost like, oh, well, it almost gives you grace.
Is it? I was going to say, is it treated like a player messed up, or is it
on purpose? And maybe it's about focus, and it's something like that. But it's not holding something over the coach, but it's something that he's going to be more compassionate. Maybe when you make a mistake or whatever else. So, Yeah, he owned up to it. I think it's just, sleeping at the wheel, and I guess it goes to show you sometimes no matter what, it can always, that's why you play the game. And then these things can happen, and maybe it's not that out of school.
Yeah.
Right? That this stuff happens.
I know it was
brought up, and I brought it up the Chris Webber timeout. In the national,
do you have the Jalen Rose picture?
Chris
has some debts to pay.
I can
if you haven't seen Jalen Rose's face,
it's
absolutely priceless.
And he was at both of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was a big part of the first one.
Yeah. And this time, lightning twice, Kenny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I thought Jalen Rose was about to get us a technical, man. I love Jalen Rose. I've been backstage at Boldy James concerts talking up with Jalen Rose. I've been
shout out Boldy James.
chilling courtside at a Pistons game talking with Jalen Rose, but. Me and him are pretty tight. He was like on the court on those last. I was like, Jalen, man, just
he could be our Spike Lee.
He is our Spike Lee.
Spike Lee could run up and down. Spike Lee could get butt naked, go in the middle of the court in New York, and they wouldn't do a damn thing because
let him go.
Yeah, Spike Lee just does Spike Lee things.
Jalen, please don't get us a technical.
Alan W in the chat. Hero doesn't hit any of those shots if a sore is out there.
Exactly. I was just about to say that.
You agree with that, Spenny?
1,000%. Oscar Thompson is a top 5 defensive player in the NBA. If he's out there, Tyler Hero's crying to the refs all day. That is a game-changing player that would have locked that down for sure.
Yeah, which you got something to look forward to. But again, you're talking about this young team that doesn't. What I'm hearing is not quitting.
Yes.
Yeah, putting themselves. Yeah, everybody hates to give up 9, but that's the NBA. That's going to happen. Do you know that there's these uber talented teams? We're used to not a guy being Tyler Hero, but a Kevin Durant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Guy that could take over games. There's guys that do that, but you didn't let it bother you. You said that, Stick. The biggest thing that you said is that with 1.8 seconds left, Bickerstaff these guys are still fighting.
Right.
And they execute, right? You execute that's the one thing. So that's what I love to hear, because I remember sitting here. This is sort of the excitement I had for the Wings last year. It's sort of flopped to the Pistons this year because the effort's there. Now, do they learn from it? And as you said, Spenny, don't worry. I'm sure that the conversation is when Asura comes back, we'll be able to, stop that or make it a little bit more difficult. Yeah. So things are looking in place. You got to take advantage. But here's what do we know, right? And we always say good teams make things happen for themselves. Well, this is sort of like the levee breaking. Do you guys remember 3 years ago, right, when the Lions had 0 wins and the Lions had 4 wins in Dan Campbell's first, couple seasons and stuff, but then we felt it change.
Yep.
Right? Do you remember that?
It's just hard.
You remember when we were watching something different?
Yep.
That's what this is like. Doesn't mean we're still got lots to go, but again, how can I'll take right out of Gladio. Are you entertained?
It is entertaining. 5-7, right? I mean, and they've dropped a couple of games that they could have won. They could be 500 right now in the playoff chase. Obviously, they're sitting at 7. They could be sitting at 3 right now. That's almost unattainable.
Let that all play out.
As much as me and Easy go back and forth, when I said 40 wins, who's been clowning me the most about that, Spenny? Easy has been clowning me the most. These guys may actually do it.
That's because you buried him on the golf stuff. You got him so far down. He's got to try. He's doubling down. He's like that. Hey, you know that kid when you're growing up and you make a bet and he loses, then he double or nothing.
Double or nothing. You got to double down.
You're on the 84th double or nothing.
No. 40 wins is a lot to ask for out of this squad, but with all the changes, that's what you have to expect. And if you were expecting coming off of what they have, 16 wins last year, 14 wins?
14.
If you expected a 10-game improvement to mean anything,
exactly.
24 games means nothing. That means you're the exact same team that lost 114. Right. So, great. You went from the worst to the worst. That's not improvement. 40 wins is the bottom, is the mark to me for a super improved team. 35 wins, if they get there, they're in that range, right? Yeah. I'll give them a plus or minus 5. But 40 wins to me is the baseline for this team. How many we have last year?
Remind me.
14.
Thank you.
If you can be plus 26 this year, that's improvement.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's showing me that there's something new happening in this city, and they're well on their way.
I'm telling you what, I got, if they win 35 plus games, I'm walking out there with $600. So it's looking pretty good.
Hey, keep rooting for it,
Looking pretty
Spenny.
good.
Freaking Ching.
Were we talking about Sabbath?
Yeah, we can talk about Sabbath. I'll tell them about Sabbath.
Well, before you do that, we got something kind of negative to talk about the game last night. And it's something that's been kind of happening all season. People are kind of addressing it in the chat, so I want to get to it as well.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that right after Sabbath.
Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Let me tell you about Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Delicious, locally sourced, freshly made coffee delivered right to your door. Just subscribe at SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com. Make sure you use code word Woodward to get 25% off your first order. Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Again, SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com is where you can subscribe to have it dropped off right to your door.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party. Every Lions home game live from Second Best Bar, Detroit. Enjoy the pregame hype with a live broadcast every week with Woodward sports personalities like Neil Rule, Sean Belegian, and the Heavyweights. Brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee and Les Stanford Automotive. Great drinks like Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Long Drink, great environment, and even better food. It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party live from Second Best Bar, Detroit. Brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee Roasters and Les Stanford Automotive. Come get some.
The holidays are coming up, and you want to make sure your family is swagged out in Woodward Sports and your favorite Detroit sports team gear. Make sure you go to shop.woodwardsports.com right now and pick up. I just put up 5 new designs yesterday.
There we go.
Ryan's working on a new graphic. You're going to love them. One's the entire Dan Campbell kneecap quote, entire thing on the T-shirt, which is awesome. And we got some Brad Holmes stuff up, King of the North stuff up. Green Bay sucks. We got that hoodie up there that Amon-Ra St. Brown was wearing, so if you want to buy that for your friends before the next Green Bay game, go ahead and do it. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. D-Mac is here. KG is here. Spenny is here. All of you in the chat are here. Obviously, the Pistons, they won last night. They pulled it out. But I'm seeing a lot of things in the chat about the turnovers from Cade Cunningham. You know, things like if Cade can get it down to under 4 turnovers a game, he's playing at an all NBA level basketball right now. We got to get our guy Jaden Ivey is really turning it around this year. So there's how many turnovers did Cade have in overtime? I was keeping track on my phone with the ESPN app, and I swear he had like 6 to 7 at least. That ish is inexcusable.
It's not inexcusable. It's not. You can't do it. But if he gets a whistle from a referee, that takes away 3 of those turnovers.
Thank you.
Because he's getting down in the lane, and they are slapping his arms, and he's turning over the ball. So if he gets a whistle like some of these guys do in the league, I'm not asking for a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or a Joel Embiid whistle, but if he gets a whistle like All-Stars do, which he should because he's going to be an all-star this year, that takes away 3 turnovers from his average a game because they hit him when he gets into the lane. Still got to be better than that, but a lot of them are literally, go watch the tape on these turnovers. There are some that are just stupid passes where he gets caught up in the air, he throws a bad pass. But the ones when he's down in the lane, they're slapping his arm and then taking the ball from him.
Mark Walston in the chat. Cade continually turning the ball over with his soft butterfinger handles. He needs to come off the ball and not handle it. 3 years in a row now doing this.
No. You don't know
and that's the one thing. it has been 3 years of turnovers.
Yeah.
That's the one part of his game that has not improved in 3 years is the turnovers.
I do agree with Spenny. Some of those turnovers do come from that, but there are a lot of turnovers from Cade that are in the half court when he's just holding the ball too long, or he's running into a defender, he's way too close, or he's being double teamed and doesn't pass it quick enough. So these are things that he needs to mature in his game and get better at, because if he starts, giving out less turnovers, this Cade Cunningham is going to be amazing in this league.
Yeah, Chuck Brewer in the chat. Folks are expecting this to be a final project with Cade already.
It's
he has some
time
things
for
to
the
clean
type
up
of
for
energy.
sure. But oh my God, he's so good.
Well, it's one of those things. So this is the Achilles heel, would you say, of his game? And the first question I asked, do you think he's self-aware and everybody around him is? Do you see him working on improvement of it? Is it a lot of it is more of the comfortability? Now, Spenny, you say it's sort of like plus minus a lot of ways because of how it's recorded and stuff. But let's go with the eyeball test, right? We can all agree he's got to have. Would this be equivalent to having a running back or a quarterback that puts the ball on the turf too often?
It's not as bad as some people make it out to be. Like, Cade Cunningham averages less turnovers per game in his career than Luka Doncic by a half a turnover. So this year, it's been the worst that it's been, and that is because the increased usage. That is because he's getting the ball into the lane and attacking the basket. Like I said, if he gets a whistle like other guys do, he's going to be at the same level of turnovers as anybody who handles the ball as much as he does.
You know what I would like to see? Because this goes back to a conversation we had last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever, as far as when do these turnovers happen? Is this later in the game? Is this because, Spenny, remember you said at home the way that they substituted against LA and gave him rest? Is he having turnovers later in the third quarter and into the fourth quarter? Is this where the plethora of them are, or are they spread out, right? Because that could be more or less along the lines of fatigue or mental fatigue, right? Getting down to the game. So I'm sure this is something. Then we got to ask ourselves this. Think the coaching staff's aware of this?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So do you think the coaching staff's already thought about this like months ago as far as when is this happening and can we see progress, not perfection?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, Spenny, that I take from you is don't read the stat sheet, just like it's more or less of how they happen, and he's going to be the brunt. Now, to your Luka point, the what you get in return for that half a turnover.
Winning solves everything, right?
No,
like if you're going to average 5
Cade's
turnovers a
averaging
game and the
better,
Pistons
if not just
are a
as good stats
500
as
ball
Luka this
club,
year.
you're fine. And I think that's the difference between, like, if you want to give him the Luka benefit of the doubt, Luka's on winning teams.
Is it
LeBron's
like
on winning
this weekend?
teams. Like, it's okay to have those turnovers if you're the leading guy on a winning team. But until you're winning, it's going to be a knock because that's part of why you're losing.
Yeah,
right?
And in basketball,
Is that why
last night.
everybody's...
And they didn't lose last night, and people are knocking them for it. Like I said, this is a thing that's going to happen with a guy who is as much usage rate as Cade Cunningham has. He's going to have turnovers.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the turnover leaders
are
right now.
inexcusable, like the ones where he's at the top of the key. But when he gets down in the paint and he goes to lay it up and he gets slapped across his arms and the ball falls out of his hands, the refs don't call it. I'm not blaming Cade Cunningham for that turnover.
He does
Can't blame the refs, though.
No, but to
can't.
your point, to Stick's
What,
point...
did you see that jump
You
ball
can't
last
blame
night?
the refs,
You can
man.
blame the refs. He's not
D-Mac,
getting
how
the
much
same
does blaming
whistle.
the officials
It's
help?
Stick's point,
different
right?
in basketball than it is
Stick,
hockey.
he is not getting the call.
Yeah.
D-Mac, professional
No, but
athlete.
you
How
can-
much does blaming the refs help?
It's not blaming the refs because you're going to take whatever that has to happen, but it's the same thing as if you're watching a strike zone and it's the same thing as
A bad
as you're watching baseball and you know
Yeah.
it was outside and the guy gets a bad call or whatever. That stuff happens. It goes to the game. I'm more interested to your point about winning and winning consistent. The one thing I haven't heard everybody talk about is or make a point of is Goff had 5 interceptions this weekend. Did it matter? No, we won, right? But the Lions are in that different expecting
Right, yeah.
winning culture, stuff like this.
And that's not normal, right? A 7-turnover game is normal for Cade.
The difference is,
so that's
like,
what he's got to improve on.
in basketball, more times than not, your turnovers cost you points. Like in Jared Goff's case, not all of his interceptions cost you points. But in the case of Cade Cunningham, that's like a 2 to 4 point swing if he's turning over the ball a whole lot. So he does need to shore this up. This is a part of his game that he needs to get better at. And you can scheme for it all you want. You can try and coach it up. It's up to him in those moments to, stop turning the ball over as much. But I do agree with Spinney as well. He is not getting the calls, and that needs to be pointed out more because he is getting beat up, and we saw it a lot last year.
It's a loser mentality, though.
No, I don't
He
think
won the
so.
game.
I don't think so.
When the Lions sucked, what do? We blame the refs. Like that's just like that's what you do when
It's
you're not
obvious.
good.
If a man
No,
is getting
different in the
clothesline,
NBA.
does
No,
he
but
get
to
serve
the-
a foul call?
To the point of how, like I said this a while ago, is he going to start getting the calls? And you're telling me, no, he's not getting the calls. So this is part of it. I think the frustration, just like whoever the chat was that said, it's that we see it's been happening, but you're telling me it's happening different now.
Yeah.
It's happening more in the game with involved instead of him just being a turnover. So it's when I hear that, I hear this can be improved upon.
Yeah.
This can be
It can.
changed because there's got to be a point where the Pistons will get the respect from the league and the calls
Right.
will start
It's
going.
the self turnovers he needs to work on
Yes.
because, like
There
Spinney
you
said,
There
can't
are stupid
control
some of
the
them are
ones like
because
that.
of fouls, but there are other ones as well that aren't so good.
Yes.
And it's just him
What's-
not having the right vision.
What's the biggest thing that the Lions that we never talk about, right? That we always used to talk about,
Yeah.
right? Dead ball penalties, right? False starts,
Right.
this,
Yeah,
that,
encroachment stuff.
right?
Stupid
because that not even a this is what we want. We want no dead ball, which means him creating that turnover. And we've
Yeah.
seen that. I've seen it because Spenny, you mentioned. I thought it was because he was tired, mentally tired, trying to do too much down the stretch. So it's a combination. It's something to look out for and look to because if they want to get to 40 wins stick, he's got to get that down under 5.
Yeah, and he
Well,
can't.
what I'm being told is he has no control over it. It's the officials.
That's not what anybody
No,
said.
they
You're
just
just making
said-
granular
please
statements
listen because
you
they
don't
just
like
said
Cade
control the
Cunningham.
ones that he can control.
Exactly.
Not
That
the
needs to
ones
be
he
true.
can't. And you know what? They will accept that. That's
So
part
on
of the
average,
game.
how many do you think the officials are responsible
At least
for
2
a
a
game?
game.
That's a fact.
So you think he should be around 3 a game because he's averaging
Yes.
5 a game right
yeah.
now.
And
3 a game would
ain't
be
hurting you.
all NBA player.
Yeah.
3 turnovers a game for the usage Cade Cunningham has is very good.
Okay.
Which
Listen,
that
I
tells
want him
me
to get
more
there. It's not like I'm
improvement. So
arguing
work on-
against Cade to fix this, but it is a problem. And to say, well, it's not really a problem. It's only the officials. No, it's a problem.
That's
It's been
not
a
what
problem for
anybody
3
said. We
years.
addressed that it's a problem and he
3
makes
years.
stupid decisions.
Yeah.
3 years.
3 years?
3 years.
It's been a problem for 3 years?
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook had that problem his whole career. He was MVP.
How many ships does Westbrook have?
Three
He
and a half
doesn't, but I'm
turnovers.
saying he was
Okay,
the
thank you.
Last year, it
MVP
was
in
a
this
problem.
league, though.
When he averaged 3.5 turnovers last year, it was a problem. When he averaged 3.4 turnovers the year before that, it was a problem. When he averaged 3.3 turnovers the year before that, it was a problem. Like, no, it's bad this year because the usage is so up and he's not getting the calls. If his usage is what it was, it wouldn't have been as bad. Like I said, you take 2 turnovers off of that, which are ref
Yeah,
induced,
and we can
it's
play
fine.
that game too. But I can also say, well, the officials have bailed him out a couple times
No,
too.
you
So
can't.
maybe
No,
When have
you
the
literally
officials
can't
ever
say
bailed
that.
Cade out?
You can't say that. Did you
I
see
just
that
don't like
jump ball
using.
last
I don't
time?
like using the officials as an excuse
Did you
to how
see
a player
Ben
is
Adebayo
performing.
grab Cade Cunningham's arm and pull it down on the jump
Yeah,
ball last night?
I get
that forced
that.
him to
He's
lose?
never gotten
He
bailed out
gets
by
calls
refs.
and he doesn't get calls. That's
No,
how.
he
That's how this
rarely
works.
gets
He
calls.
never gets calls.
Okay.
I see
I mean,
more
I don't
than-
know what else to tell you if you're
Look at
convinced
his
the
free
officials
throw
are
attempts. His
responsible
free
for
throw
some
Look
turnovers.
at the stats.
I don't know how else to convince you.
Look at the
His free throw
stats
attempts
of
are
what
terrible.
Cade Cunningham does and how often he drives to the basket compared to other stars who get the calls and he doesn't.
Yeah.
It is staggering. Like he does not get calls.
To this point, Cody Angle, right? The issue is Cade is an all-star, but he's not considered a superstar.
There you go.
That's why he doesn't get
He doesn't
the
get an
calls.
all-star whistle.
What's that?
He doesn't even get an all-star whistle. He gets a role
and you know
player
what?
whistle.
That's
From
You
my
gotta
eyeball
earn it
test,
in
I
this
would
league.
agree to that.
You
We
gotta
have-
earn that whistle,
But
guys.
We have seen superstars turn the ball over a lot. James Harden, Russell Westbrook. I can go down the list of people that have had high turnover rates but are still stars and MVPs of this league. So I don't like that.
So you're just accepting that that's part of the game, and then that's fine, right?
I'm not saying it's fine.
You're justifying it with Russell Westbrook.
He can still be an effective player even with a semi-high turnover
I think Cade's
rate.
great. Listen, I think Cade's fantastic. But if we're gonna sit here and pretend the turnovers don't matter,
But
I don't know what to tell you guys.
between him being a star and a superstar.
Nobody said it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're just making that up.
I'm not making it up.
We're all saying he needs to be better, but there is nuance.
He just gave the
to
example
fact.
of James Harden. They've been MVPs, so the turnovers don't matter. That's essentially what he was just saying.
It doesn't separate him from being a superstar and a regular star. That's what I'm saying. Turnovers aren't the mark for that.
I want him to be an efficient star. And that's it.
He's I mean, shit.
And that's the only knock on his game right now. And you know what? We were talking about the Pistons winning last night, and what was the chat talking about? Cade's turnovers.
Yeah,
so it's not just
over that,
me.
though.
It's not just me sitting up here making
That's
a narrative.
loser mentality. They won the game. Talk about them winning the fucking game. He had too many turnovers. That's loser mentality. They won the fucking game.
They still have a losing record. Right?
Okay, and this isn't a superstar team. Did you expect? You said 40 wins.
40
at
wins.
best.
I expect him to be at 500.
You don't talk about Jared Goff's interceptions when they win the game, do you?
Jared Goff had 6 games of 83% completion percentage.
understand,
The
but
minute
the games
Cade
he
goes
threw
on
a
that
pick
type
in,
of run,
no,
I won't say
the
shit
games
when he
he
has a
threw a
7.
pick in and
Like,
they
what are
won,
we
you don't
doing
talk
here,
about the
KG?
interceptions.
What are we doing
I'm
here?
just saying.
Tell me the run Cade went on that was historic in the NBA. Tell me.
He's the 6th youngest player to get to 3,000 points.
That's
900
not a
assists.
run.
It is his career. His career has been a run up there with the likes of Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Isaiah Thomas,
Yeah,
and
so
Grant
you're telling
Hill.
me
Are those
5
good
people have
players?
already done it. Nobody did what Jared Goff did through
my
6
God,
games.
dude.
Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
Thank you.
I just
So
said
what
the
are we
times he
doing?
threw
So,
pick
so,
and
you,
they
so,
wanted to
you,
go
so,
talk
you, so
about
you
it.
want Cade Cunningham to be, at this point in his career, an MVP candidate? That's the only thing that will make you happy with him?
No, I just want us to
So then
acknowledge,
why are you
hey, he's got a
comparing
turnover
Jared
problem.
Goff, who's been in a system for 4 years and knows it like the back of his hand. It's a
Exactly.
difference when you're at a guy who's his first year in a good system with a new head coach and finally being that man in the system. It takes time.
It does.
Just like it took time for Jared Goff.
I think he had the Rams in the Super Bowl year 3.
What about his
I
first year with the
understand.
Lions? Was he fine? Was that
I think
MVP Jared Goff?
Year
Was he
3.
performing his
Year
first
3.
year?
Was it, will you give him year 3? Because that's
Not-
what we're in with Cade.
Year 3. What? This is year 1
The
in
NBA
JD
is different,
Bickerstaff's
by the way,
system.
but-
That was year 3 in Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell's system. It's going to take time. Cade Cunningham is an all-star this year.
All right. Well, I mean, we're committed to the guy, and I'm here for it.
yeah,
I just
and
want to
you-
see the
and you're
turnovers
mad
down.
about
Y'all
that.
treat me like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Excuse Goff's 5 interceptions. Why? Because we won the game. Point blank. Period. We're not talking about that.
And for other reasons too, KG.
Okay.
If Jared
All right.
Goff was coming out throwing 5 interceptions a game, if
But
I was sitting
if
here
we
being like,
lost that
well,
game,
the
what was the
officials
time?
were responsible for 2 of them.
That's what
I'd
I
sound
heard.
like an
That's
idiot.
what I heard
We say,
I sound like
we
an
say
idiot.
the defense is responsible.
But you
for 2
guys
of
are
them.
okay.
You
That's
said
fine.
that. You said that on the post-game show.
Yeah.
One was an arm punt and one he got hit from behind. So
Right.
those
One
aren't
was
on
a
him.
Hail Mary. We
One
excuse
was a
that.
Hail Mary.
I
Okay,
get that,
but it's a turnover, so you can't excuse it.
I get it, but I'm not blaming the official.
But you're blaming the circumstance.
Right.
It was still a turnover.
You're right.
So if you can't blame the official, you can't blame an arm punt.
And this is what you guys are doing. You're turning on Jared Goff's
It's-
one
we
game
not
into
turning
the
on
guy
him.
is
We're
averaging
just trying to
I'm
make an
using your
example.
logic against you.
No, I'm
that's
using
why
your
you're
logic.
getting,
Making
that's why
an
you're getting so
example.
frustrated is because it's like you're arguing with yourself.
No, I'm telling you, you cannot hold Jared Goff to the same standard Cade Cunningham.
Exactly. So
Coming
am I.
coming off a 6 games of perfection, damn near.
Yeah, and you
if Cade
can't
went
hold
on
Cade
that
to
run,
that.
I can promise you guys, both of you, if he had 7 turnovers the next game, I'd keep my mouth shut.
Cade almost had
And-
4 straight triple doubles.
And you
Almost.
and you can't hold Cade Cunningham to the same expectation you hold Jared Goff the other way because this is his first year with a new head coach in a new system.
Good God.
Jared Goff's first year with a new head coach in a new system, you needed him to be an all-star or a superstar or he wasn't good because that's what you're treating Cade like.
Let's go around the room. Do you see progress, Spenny?
Yes.
Clearly,
a lot of progress.
Clearly, you can see
Dick?
progress.
In every area but turnovers.
Okay.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Am I
but,
the
but I
devil
like
for
the fact-
acknowledging
but
reality?
No.
Here's the thing.
But it's not the whole story on Cade Cunningham.
Right,
You're trying to make it
and
the
that's
whole
fine.
story on
Kenny,
him.
all the people need to know is that you guys see progress.
Yes.
They ain't worried about.
We've all
Whatever.
acknowledged the fact he needs to fix it.
Stick
I don't know
hasn't
what
seen
the-
enough progress.
In one area.
Right.
Like, that's it.
That's cool. You can harp on that because I'm more focused. on what Spenny
winning the game
to watch. And I know the eyeball test and as the referees, it's the same thing. I know we're late for break, but it brings up a great question for later, Spenny, about
Turnovers.
Cade and the Larkin is the respect from the league, but where the teams are at. Mike G brought that up in the chat. That's for another date, though. Where are we going?
That is good. I'll knock that down.
Pregame show.
Yeah, pregame show. Tell us about the pregame show.
This week, we will be live down on Randy Watson Street. You can join the pregame show. Neil will be back in town. Sean Belizean will be there. There'll be lots of Tullamore Dew sipped, Sabbath coffee drank, and some New Holland smashed. So make sure you come out there before the game versus the Jags. And while you're on your way down or you get up early in the morning, make sure you wake up to Woodward in Maine with Matthew Broder and that man, Terry Foster, this Sunday starting at 8 a.m. right here on Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz next 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network.
1800 Tequila is a proud partner of the Detroit Lions. They are the official tequila sponsor of the Woodward Sports live watch party and post-game shows at Hayes Social. Tap in. You know they got the Lions themed bottle. You can go out and get those. They're in stores now. If your local liquor store doesn't have it, just ask them to get it, and they will have it very, very soon. 1800 Tequila, the smoothest taste in tequila. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. That is Darren McCarty. We got KG in here. We got Spenny in here. Got top 5 video games of all time coming up. What's going on, Spenny?
Oh, dude. The picture Lentz used for you and D-Mac are just...
I love it.
Did he switch it? Oh, for the top 5.
For the top 5,
okay,
yeah.
I thought thumbnail.
No, for top 5,
Lentz back there doing the devil's work as always.
These are both gold.
Hey, is this Lentz low-key? Lentz is probably in the chat. Is this low-key like your favorite day? Because you get to like mess around with like the guys' pictures and stuff like that because you all send them in. I love the one you guys go deep diving.
Yeah.
Find
these are 2 deep cuts for sure.
Deep cuts,
Yeah,
man.
he pulled one from 1999 last week.
Yeah.
So.
Knock about 20 years off.
Oh, God.
We're back to 1999.
they got the ones.
Where were you in 99?
I was a senior in high school at the Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Shout out Allen Robinson.
And then freshman at University of Detroit that very same year.
Shout out.
You graduate in May and you're in school by August.
You was a Y2K baby, huh?
Oh, yeah. We were waiting by ATM machines waiting for them bitches to blow up.
That would have been so sweet. That's the smartest way to look.
That was the wildest
Y2K.
New Year's ever.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Everybody thought the whole damn world was. Oh my God! They didn't.
I
they
as a
didn't
kid
code
thought the world was
computers
gonna
to
blow up.
handle 2000, and it was only 1 in the 4th digit. So now the computers are gonna. All our money's gonna go away. The stock market's gonna crash. It was. That's why I don't freak out when people are like, the world's gonna end. It's like, I've
Before
heard
we
this.
move on, guys, let me say a special Woodward Sports shout out and prayers to a really good friend of mine in the area, Dave Coulier, who just announced this morning he's battling stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So that's the same thing that Mary Lemieux had and stuff. So staying on top of it, and I think that the story about bringing it out, and if you follow Dave Coulier on any socials, he's being upfront, is that especially for all of us. As we get older or whatever, listen to your bodies, and it's something that hit him out of nowhere, but he's trying to deal with it the best way. And it's not just for the Daves, it's for everybody out there, right? That if something's wrong, go get it checked out. Or if you have to do these things, it's embracing the suck. So prayers to Dave, but prayers to all of you out there. You're dealing with it. Your family's dealing with it. You got a loved one. We here at Woodward Sports just want to say that, we see you and love you and thank you all. Yeah. So just wanted to take that time. That was
great Michigander.
Great Michigander, and as a lot of you are, no matter where you are in the world. And that's what we hope here at Woodward Sports. Obviously, we can talk and argue about the turnovers and Goff and the Lions and bring that together, but the biggest thing Woodward Sports is about the people, and it's all about you guys. So, prayers, and let's keep battling. That's all you can do. Keep working, go moving forward.
Yep.
No,
well said, B-Mac.
Definitely appreciate that.
Because we got the Jags this week, boys.
Big city.
We got the Jags, and I don't care.
The Mac
can't be sleeping.
And after that
Mac
segment of
Jones.
Jared Goff slander by Spenny and KG, the question is, can he bounce back against the Jags?
The vaunted Jaguars defense.
Can he bounce back?
AFC juggernaut.
Do you think he can make it through his last game? I mean, I don't know if he can bounce back against the Jags.
Well, it was announced no Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Mac Jones.
So we got Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Who? 8-0? Okay. Do you think
I'm tripping.
Like,
Wood
does
grain,
this,
I'm
like
great.
these
Mac
are the
Jones
only
had- I beat Mac
these are the
Jones.
only
Mike
ones where
Jones
you
has
really
Facts.
you really got to dial into, right? As in the game plan or the message in Allen Park this week, I'm sure, and this is where I wanted to tell everybody. This is where low key. The game that the Zadarius Smith comes in, the way that he's endeared himself, he got his rest, but bring it in. I would ask Dan Campbell back in my mind to this have something to play with it, so he could not only play at home in front of the fans, but have the Jags, right? Have sort of maybe a little bit easier afternoon. Can we not agree that than it would have been against Texas? And it's a confidence thing to adhere. So the motivation, not only for him, but everybody around him, again, because you got a new guy in the lineup and on the team, and everybody, it's like the new girl in class. Everybody wants to show their best. And I think it's a savage little under the radar move to keep that motivation, because what's the spread, Spenny? 13?
Ivan, you can check.
82.
It was
But
13 last time I checked.
13.
Yeah,
I'd take
so
that.
and I would
I'd
expect
take the
now
Lions.
that
They
Trevor
covered the
Lawrence-
Tennessee spread. The Tennessee spread was 11, I think.
If it was 13, I would take the Lions with the points.
Yeah.
I'll
check it to make sure. I think it's 13 still.
Here's the thing, right? It's not getting. So it's about us, and it's about us, and I think it's starting on time, right? So the message. So I'm not as not worried to get caught sleeping.
Yeah.
These are like back in the day when we go into Arizona, or we go into
the spread is 14.
We go into San Jose or
What
go
else?
somewhere where you'd be reminded you can't take a night off.
Right. These guys get paid too.
And this might be another opportunity for, for my case, the grind line to shine. Get a little extra minutes.
See Pat
Well,
O'Connor,
that's-
AQM, those guys that are, at the bottom of the pass rush. They look good against Houston. Hopefully they can. Pat O'Connor from that interior defensive line, he looks pretty good. It looks like John Kaminsky 2.0 out there.
Yeah, this is one of those games you obviously need to win, but staying healthy in these are very important too.
No, that's a
these are
fact.
wins you're
That's a
supposed to pick up. You need to get in, get out, don't mess around, take care of your business in the first half so you can get some rotational players in there in the second half. And the question was, is Jared Goff going to bounce back in this game? The only time I see Jared Goff struggling in this game is the fourth quarter when Hendon Hooker's playing.
He's not
That's
even
the only
gonna have
time
to-
he's not going to put up stats.
He's not even going to have to throw the ball a lot. And
Agreed.
per Caesar Sportsbook, minus 14 for the Lions. So, 14-point spread.
I'd still take the Lions.
I would.
That's a lot in the NFL.
I
I
understand.
mean, that is insane
But
in
this
the NFL.
defense is going to get after it. Zadarius Smith coming in, that offensive line for the Jaguars is not good.
And Ben Johnson and Jared Goff are going to be pissed after what happened in Houston.
That's a fact.
They're
And
going to
then
come out there, and we've seen this team. This Lions team is petty. They're petty kings, and I love it. Like, we saw what they did to Dallas. We saw how they ran up the score on Tennessee. Like, they're going to be pissed after having a bad performance against Houston. I feel bad for the Jaguars. They're going to get some lying right in their mouth.
That's the best part about that Houston game is it still feels like a loss.
Yeah.
Like even though it was a great moment, you win, it was as close to a loss and a beatdown and a lesson learned from a loss as you're going to get with a win.
Yep.
It's so true to find out, like, at the end, you learn a lot about your team, about not quitting and about digging down deep, but you also go into the next week like it's a bad taste.
Yeah, it didn't feel
it doesn't,
right.
You had steak and you had that filet, you were like, but it just, what happened? It didn't hit right.
Yep.
Like for whatever reason. So there's things to prove. Yes, this is what it becomes. I bet this conversation, right, leads back to last week when Terry was on the show and he said, pick me 2 losses the rest of the season. The one thing instead of that, the expectation is what you said, Stick. Let's get out of here healthy.
Yep.
Can we stop for a minute and just realize you're talking about what's your number one concern about your team? Just get out of the game healthy. Yeah. Because if they are, then we win.
Then it's a win. Right.
No, then
that's
we
a
win.
fact.
Yep.
But you can't drop games either if you're chasing the number 1 seed.
No.
Oh.
So, and that's what the Lions' mission is at this current point in their season. Get the number 1 seed, get home field advantage.
But like, it's crazy to sit as a Lions fan because when's the last time the Lions were favored 14 on anybody?
I've never seen
on
it.
anybody.
Never ever seen it. I've seen them, not be favored by 14 points. But
right, I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen the other way when we were 0-16.
Right.
But when you're going up against Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. But I have never seen it like this.
The second biggest spread is 7.5 for this upcoming weekend.
We're probably going to be another 14-point favorite when we play the Colts.
And Chicago, maybe.
Chicago maybe not because
at home.
It's
Chicago
a
will be
game.
a touchdown.
Yeah,
touchdown
just
spread.
because it's a division game. But
I don't know. By that time, Bagnet's going to be playing quarterback.
Yeah, Tyler Bagent.
Whatever his name is. His dad's a his dad's an arm wrestler. That's all I know about that guy. That was a cool story last year. It was like the power arm wrestler, world champion. We'll talk more Lions coming up next. There is one position of concern, and we'll talk about that coming up next. But first, Spenny, what do we got to talk about? Lady Jane's.
Talk about Lady Jane's, D-Mac.
Absolutely. Walking any Lady Jane's haircuts for men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a $20 haircut special. Scalp massage, hot lather, neck shave, and a hot towel treatment from one of the talented stylists. Take advantage of the $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code up in the corner and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Open 7 days a week. Walking any times. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
A Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports, and we want to hook you up with $1,000 as a bonus bet if your bet loses. So use code Woodward1000 when you go to Caesars Sportsbook and sign up, or just scan that QR code above my head. If you want to take the over on Cade Cunningham turnovers, probably a good bet. You can do that right now. Caesars Sportsbook. Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. He will be back on Friday. Going to have the lovely Terry Foster in tomorrow to sit and chat with Mr. D-Mac. We have Darren McCarty here to my left, KG in the sound booth, and of course, Spencer Raxter up to no good with that devilly smile in the booth.
Hello.
We're going to do top 5 video games coming up next segment, right?
Yes.
So next segment, stick around. I know you've been waiting for it in the chat. Of all time.
Ever.
One position on the Lions that we can acknowledge has been a concern, or at least something to look at. The tackle position. Obviously, Taylor Decker, when he played, was not Taylor Decker-esque. He wasn't dominating like he normally does. He was injured. They tried our boy Dan Skipper. Skipper, probably not the best performance of his career.
It wasn't the worst,
especially in the first half last week.
Yeah.
Is that a area of concern for you and the Detroit Lions moving forward, D-Mac?
You know what? I gotta go by this is the strongest unit on this team. This is the backbone of the team. Obviously, we know that they're gonna fight through injuries and stuff, and it hasn't been optimal, but it's been enough. They know that they have to improve upon it, whether they have to add somebody or give somebody else an opportunity. But the strength has always been for them their rotation, even with their top 5, to being able to plug and play guys in. So I think they'll address it, Stick, to whatever that needed, and have the best possible guy there, because they know they got to keep Goff protected. They know that that's their number one thing.
That's everything.
Now, also to say that, Spenny, right, because we're all Penny Sewell slaps here and whatever else, Penny Sewell probably would say to you that, you know, he's played better, more consistently. I mean, the last game is like, it reminded me of somebody burns him to the quarterback, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, I remember that one time Peter Forsberg beat Nick Lidstrom out of the corner. Like, it's going to happen. They're human, but how are they going to respond to it? So, you know what, to the point is, you saw them adjust throughout the game and stuff like this, but they have to be better, and they're the first ones to admit that. And I think that also, to your point about Decker, the injury was even worse. That was not, like, the reason that he was not up to Taylor Decker standards and playing down was because of how hurt he was. To me, there's no there's no question that it was, they finally pulled him out to say, you need some rest, bro, because it's affecting the game. So they will get on top of this before, hopefully this makes them stronger right in the end. Because, but that is our, has always been our backbone. Now other position groups are vying for that lead, but to me, it'll always be the offensive line. Especially, how can it not be? Because look at your running backs.
Right.
Look at the production both ways, both guys. It's not about how many yards they get. You watch the game and you look at the effectiveness of how they control the field.
Yeah, you shouldn't be concerned at all.
Okay.
And I do understand, you know, Taylor Decker. Even if you wanted to sit him this week, I wouldn't be mad at it, because you don't necessarily need him this game. You want to do the same thing with Laporta, fine, but I know we like to get on Dan Skipper, you know, for this last game. I don't think it was his worst game played, and maybe I was just watching a different game than everybody else, but I saw a whole Lions offensive line that struggled. I mean, Pinay missed a lot of blocks in that game, and they just the Texans had a very good blitz scheme.
They're good defense.
So I think they just got beat in that first half. They made adjustments, or according to them, they didn't make adjustments. They just executed better in the second half, and they got it done. But overall, we'll be fine, man. Dan Skipper has been fine in that role. He hasn't, you know, overly been getting beat or anything. Goff didn't even get sacked last week. So as much as they struggled and it looked like, oh, the Lions' offensive line is getting their ass kicked, they did not give up a sack on Jared Goff. So that right there tells me Dan Skipper being at that tackle spot, he'll be fine.
Skipper didn't, he wasn't awful. He wasn't great. The entire offensive line was bad.
It was just a bad day.
It wasn't Dan Skipper's fault per se. So if you need to, and you look at Jacksonville, and they got a couple good pass rushers. They do got a couple guys that can get to the quarterback. So that is somebody you're going to have to worry about. But I just expect that this offensive line is going to take it personally, how they let Jared Goff get beat up in that first half. And especially, you saw it in the second half, Penei Sewell was pissed off. he was out there moving dudes around in the second half. I expect them to be much, much better in this Jacksonville
Him
game.
getting out there on that screen pass, man.
Yeah.
Could you
couple of them,
imagine
yeah,
that
yeah.
dude just running at you
You
full
never
speed?
want to see Panay pulling or
Yeah.
like blocking for a running back.
Wait until that's Giovanni
Spenny.
Manu in a year or two.
Benny, me personally, I would have gave you a ding ding bell
Thank you.
for that comment about the offensive line taking it personally.
Yeah.
Right? Just like you saw throughout the game. What did you see? The way that game went, did you see in the first half that these guys were visibly, this was acceptable?
Yes.
Absolutely not. Where did you see it the most? On their leadership, right? And it wasn't more, it was words, it was more facial expressions and, oh shit, what's coming out? And you have this sort of calm that these are professionals and we have men that give a shit as much as we do as fans, if not even more, about each other, and just it's along for the ride. No, it doesn't always mean it's going to play out, but do they care to fix those mistakes?
Right.
What do I always preach about, right? The one thing, Scotty Bowman, one of the number one rule: you're allowed to make the mistake. If I tell you don't make that mistake, don't ever make it again. So that means make a mistake, learn from it, don't make the same mistake twice. And that's what we're seeing. So we're going to see a lot of improvement because it goes down to, it's not on this guy, on that guy. It's on all of them. And they all take that acceptance. So Glasgow's got to be better to help Skipper out. And
Exactly.
that's, you know what I'm saying? And Zeitler's got to be better to help Panay out. And they got to be better to help Frank. And you know what? They're watching this and they know that this week. So watch them come out.
But even still, like I said, Goff didn't hit the ground. And I see Alan W in the chat. He's saying Goff got assaulted. He was pressured a lot. And that caused some of the mistakes, but ultimately
Caused all the mistakes. That and the officials.
He had a clean pocket on a couple of those picks, man.
Fuck it, dude. I knew you were going to.
You
I
can
couldn't
have it,
give
man.
you the grandpa stare, the dad stare quick enough before you got it out. So I can't blame you. I mean, you're
It is
allowed
what
to
it
fire
is.
it out. Like I
But
said.
if he didn't hit the ground, then what are, he
no,
gotta be
but
better.
listen, we talk all the time about the difference between pressure and sacks.
Right,
Sometimes pressure is good enough, though, in those situations.
And in
And,
that case,
because
it
he didn't get on the ground, they didn't allow a sack, that is a good thing, but also you got to figure out why. Well, Goff was a heady quarterback, getting the ball out of there faster. Sometimes
can
just chucking
understand
it into the ground. It looked like his fingers were broken the way he was throwing it into the ground
was
sometimes. But it was because of the pass rush. But I'm just looking at the schedule coming up. I mean, starting this Sunday, the Lions have 3 games in 11 days. Mm-hmm. 3 games in 11
We play
days.
on Thanksgiving.
They got the Thanksgiving day. So you got the Jags, then you get the Colts, then you get the Bears. Those are the 3 games you want to play in 11 days.
Yeah.
If you have to play 3 games in 11 days.
And we're gonna see some starters rest. You are gonna see, I wouldn't be surprised if Hendon Hooker, we saw him in both of these games against Jacksonville and against the Colts, because they're gonna manhandle these teams. Like I said, that offensive, expect Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery to both be close to 100 yards against Jacksonville.
Well, I'm just looking at Jacksonville, right? And we'll dive deeper into them. But what do they do that scares you?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Like I said, they got a couple pass rushers.
You look at the Colts. What do they do that scares you? You got Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
But the Lions are pretty damn good at
Richardson
shutting down the
starting
run.
again.
Okay, so he'll tap out in the third quarter because he's tired.
If
Yeah,
you
that
take
shit was
Brian
so
Thomas out of the game, the Jacks have nothing.
Yes. ETN's been
And then the
buns this year.
Bears, they be the Bears. I mean, they got Caleb Williams painting his fingernails before game
Where
time.
the Lions are going to, in the next 3 games, they are going to have, I want to put a good number on it. I'll say 12 sacks as a team.
Oof.
As a team in the next 3 games.
Damn.
Well, that's 4 a game. That's doable. I mean, they had 4 last
with
game.
these 3 guys, with these 3 offensive lines, they'll have 12 sacks as a team in the next, at least 12 sacks in the next.
Zadarius Smith will have 6 of them.
He'll have 4.
Let's hope.
He'll have at least 4 in the next 3 games.
He's going to average
4 in 3 games.
Yeah.
plus 1.
Yeah, you look at, he'll have 2 in this game with Mac
I do
Jones.
believe that.
Mac
and
Jones.
How,
Mac Jones is very mobile.
how much he did?
Very mobile.
No, that was Bailey Zappi that got hunched that one time. But with how bad their offensive line is, you take out Trevor Lawrence, who is mobile at least, and you put in Mac Jones is going to get killed in this game.
And then, so these next 3 games, think we brought it up. Stay healthy.
Yep.
Beat the hell out of them and stay healthy.
It's a fact.
That's all you can do. Coming up next, our top 5 list. Top 5 video games of all time. Get yours in the chat. We will discuss them. But first, let's talk about second best. It's a great name because, it's humble. It's a little humble to brag. Yeah, we're the second best, but honestly, it's the best. And that's where our pregame show is on home games this Sunday. Make sure you join us from 10 a.m. to noon. We'll be down at second best, 42 Watson Street in Detroit, Michigan. We will be there hanging out with Neil Rule, Sean Belesian, and a bottle of Tullamore Dew. Come hang out.
You're an ugly guy. That's okay, because you have a hot girl on your arm. Now Woodward Sports and Les Stanford want to reward you for outkicking your coverage.
I am ugly as by traditional standards.
That's right. If your significant other's hotter than you could win tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. So find the best pic of her with the average-looking you and post it on X or Instagram.
U-G-L-I-N, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. You ugly.
Make sure you tag at Woodward Sports and follow us to enter. We'll announce the winner November 25th. Then you and your much better-looking lady will get tickets to watch Dan Campbell and the Kneecappers.
We're gonna buy the kneecap off.
Inside of Ford Field on Thanksgiving. So find the best pic of her and the worst pic of you. And show us all how you outkicked your coverage.
Your mama said you ugly, hey.
From Woodward Sports and Les Stanford.
Gotta love New Holland Brewing and their Tallers. Nobody loves them more than Neil Rule, but I think they're pretty damn good too. So make sure you're picking up some to watch the Lions while they play. Or if you come on out to Hey Social, we got them in stock for you. New Holland Taller, a delicious gin drink with some grapefruit puree. So good. Pick one up today. All right, welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We are talking your top 5 video games of all time, and then we'll get back into the sports talk right here on Woodward Sports. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. That is Darren McCarty. KG is here. Of course, Spencer is here as well. And we got some people running through the chat. Easy says, I better see some GTA. I didn't put it on my list.
It's
Easy.
honorable
on my
mention.
list.
I should have put it on my list.
GoldenEye. I cannot believe I
That's
forgot about
another one.
GoldenEye.
It's so many. It's
Too
hard
many.
to do
There's
this
too
with.
many good videos.
There is too many, but I spent a lot of my high school was spent playing GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Mitten Maid put that one in the chat. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on NES. Sean Hart, says that.
That's a good game.
Grand Theft Auto from Mitten Maid. Star Fox 64.
Oh, Star Fox was
Star
so
Fox
good.
was pretty damn good. Golden Axe, Mortal Kombat 2. Like Tekken was another one that I didn't think of to put in.
D-Mac, was you on the No Mercy wave? The WWF No Mercy? You wasn't on that N64?
Nah, dude.
Oh, man. That's literally one of the best wrestling games ever.
I didn't play the wrestling ones.
Oh, yeah. You was in the league. I forgot.
Joe Montana
You was in the
football.
league winning cups around that time.
I was
My
too
bad.
busy doing backyard
You're
stuff.
right.
I had Joe Montana football on the Sega handheld one. Oh, God. Good
Halo
times,
3,
man.
I probably could have put Halo 3.
Halo,
I wasn't a big Halo guy, but it's
WWF, No
good,
Mercy, Bloody Roar, Zelda. All right, let's get into our list. NFL Blitz was in there too.
So
That's a good
many
one.
good
Street
ones,
Fighter, good
man.
one. Double Dragon, a good one. Who's starting off? Spenny?
I'll start off.
Let's do
I'll
it.
go
Top
first.
5.
All right, it's half as boring as top 10 list, and my top 5 video games of all time. I played a lot of video games in my life.
Like it.
It was really hard for me to kind of narrow it down to 5, so I put some honorable mentions in there. My honorable mentions, I got Pokemon Emerald. I put more hours into that game than probably any game in my life. Diablo 2 on the computer. It was a game I played back in the day. Just an amazing game. And then Suikoden 2 for PlayStation 1. I'm a JRPG guy, and that was one of the best ones. And number 5, I got Final Fantasy VII. I know
Classic.
this is probably on D-Mac's list as well, but Final Fantasy VII, just an amazing game.
Yeah.
The story, the remakes, all of it has been great as well. And just so many hours put in this game. So many pages of walkthroughs and different things printed out and put in my basement playing with my brothers.
Yeah.
At number 4, I got Conker's Bad Fur Day for Nintendo 64.
It's a throwback,
This
bro.
is
like
the game that was most ahead of its time out of any game I've ever played in my entire life.
What system?
Nintendo 64.
N64, yeah. This is one of those cult classic type games.
It's a cult classic game, and the multiplayer in this game is absolutely insane. Like, me and my brothers would play Total War. They had a caveman versus raptors match.
Is it like a gerbil that drinks?
He's a squirrel.
Yeah, no,
he's a
that's
flying
real.
red squirrel. Yeah, and he drinks and you shoot guns. Super gory game.
Alright.
Did they ever like remix it for?
They haven't remade
There was
it,
a new one for Xbox. It was Conquer something else that was pretty good, but this one is an all-time classic.
You guys want to hear the plot?
Yeah, read the plot.
The story of the Bad Fur Day. A morning after a night of binge drinking, Conker awakens to find himself in an unfamiliar land with a terrible hangover. Having no other choice, he begins a long journey with the goal to be returning home to his girlfriend.
Yes.
That's it. Just getting home to your girlfriend after a
You
hangover.
fight a giant pile of shit. Like, literally, his name is the Giant Pooh. He's one of the bosses. Great game.
Fight Matt Patricia? That's crazy.
At number 3, I got Uncharted 2.
Great game.
It's like, you're basically Indiana Jones. Like, Nathan Drake, he's this archaeologist. He goes and he finds all these stuff. You're running, gunning. The combat system of that game is so sweet because you're like acrobatically fighting while shooting. So you can like jump, punch somebody, take their gun midair, shoot the guys that are falling down. Great game.
All of them.
Number two, Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. I put in a ton of hours. It's a post-apocalyptic Washington, D.C. that you're going around in. A bunch of crazy shit, random stuff happens. Raiders, super mutants, a bunch of great stuff in Fallout 3. And then at number 1, Elden Ring. I dedicated so many hours to this game. It is the most satisfying game I've ever played in my entire life. If you've never played a Soulsborne game, I've played Elden Ring, I've played Dark Souls 2, and I played Bloodborne.
All hard as shit.
Yeah.
We
by the
have
way.
tapped into Spenny's passion.
Oh yeah, you will never have a more satisfying feeling than beating a Soulsborne boss, and Elden Ring was just a complete masterpiece.
So what I've learned is Spenny loves role-playing games.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
a
a
big
fact.
RPG guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could have stopped after playing.
You're going to die 87 times playing Elden Ring,
sure.
bro.
Role-playing.
It's ridiculous.
All right, who we doing next?
KG.
Let's
would
go,
be me.
KG. What you got? It better be some games I know.
This was so hard to narrow down to 5. And honorable mention, GTA, Vice City, and San Andreas, 2 of the best games to be ever made. But right now, at number 5, NBA/NFL 2K5. These were the best sports games to ever be released. If y'all remember, NBA 2K5 had Ben Wallace on the cover.
Yep.
And that was one of the best sports games ever, man. The My Career mode on there was absolutely amazing. You could talk to the players personally and just, you can do anything you want in this. Same thing with NFL 2K5. It was great. Number 4, I got the Simpsons/Ninja Turtles arcade games.
Oh, yeah.
This was one of my first introductions to arcade games.
Yep.
I could play those things for hours, man. I would steal quarters, my mom's laundromat quarters, and go sneak off and play.
Marge swinging that vacuum.
Yeah, oh man, it was great, man. Those were some of the funnest games ever played. Still hold up today. Number 3, the best fighting game ever, Mortal Kombat. Now, listen, I love all fighting games, Tekken, Street Fighter, but there is nothing like Mortal Kombat. Like, this right here put fighting games on the map. At number 2, Galaga, my favorite arcade game ever. You just shooting fucking spaceships out the sky. I mean, what's better than that? And at number 1, Sonic Adventure, which is more specifically Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast. Literally the best Sonic game ever made. I love the 2D Sonics, don't get me wrong, but when they finally brought Sonic to the 3D world, oh my God, I spent so many hours on Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic being one of my favorite video game characters, and now one of my favorite Lions players in Jahmyr Gibbs. Shout out Sonic, man.
Yeah, you got to love those edits that come out after every single game, too.
Man, it's the best. Yeah. It's the best.
D-Mac, you want to go or you want me to roll?
Absolutely. I about 3rd. Shout out, honorable mention, Borderlands.
Hey,
Borderlands.
Oh, look at that. That's from the Versus days.
Look at that guy.
So on the versus days, looking all pretty impressed right there. Anyways, number 5, Blades of Steel, the arcade stand-up game.
Okay.
The version that would be, it would be in every hockey rink in the lobby and whatever, and we'd always be playing it. We always liked the gameplay because you could fight on it and stuff like this. But it was
That was like the first fighting game with blood, too, right?
What's that?
The first fighting game with blood. That's what I remember about that.
It was awesome. Number 4. The Call of Duty that I got locked into, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, because you had the upgraded weapons.
Yep.
Because I was like a noob. The noob grenade launcher, like
The noob tube.
Dude, I'm that guy, right? But I had so
MW2
much
was the
fun.
better
I liked
one,
the
but-
campaign, everything like that. Played it through. Obviously, Spenny knew I had to nail this one. Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
On the PS2,
Classic.
breeding chocobos,
Oh,
baby.
yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Long story with that.
Shout out
Number
Cloud.
2, Red Dead Redemption 2.
such a
Probably,
That's a great game.
That's an amazing
honestly,
Yes.
like if
I
I,
still
had
ain't
to take
finished it.
one game to play the rest of my life, it'd be that one.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much
So
to do
much
and
you
it's
could
fun.
do.
And
Yeah.
I even get caught watching videos
Yeah.
of other people playing. I like to do that. And number 1 goes back to me and Chris Osgood, Mike Castleman in Adirondack, my rookie year, 1990. 1992-93, after we got drafted, and I lived up top and they lived at the bottom, and every night we'd play till like 4 in the morning at NHL 94 Sega.
Was this the first video game you were ever in?
That wasn't in that one. I was in the hockey game in 90 like 5 or
95.
4.
Was it
whatever.
93
Like,
or 94 where the wraparound worked every single
yeah,
time?
no, the Rona. I was Chicago.
Yeah.
The back forward, the deke and stuff. But that was the Gretzky bleeds, and that was the one that you see in swingers and stuff. So we used to just hammer that down.
That was a great game.
Hell yeah.
The speed check right into him. He hits
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
ice and the blood comes out of his face.
Yeah.
Ah, the good old days. All right, Spenny, you ready for my top 5?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
The Atari games. Look at this shit.
Holy
Oh,
stickler! Look at the little stickler.
Yeah, there it is. That was taken at the old Tiger Stadium.
That was
yeah.
taken from the R gang. Right. That was out of the Little Rascals
I
archive.
swear you look like Little Rascals. But
Yeah, well, we had a good childhood.
whose jersey
man.
you had on?
That was just one of those blank jerseys where you stood in
got
front
it.
of the fake background and took the
Right,
picture.
got
I
it.
got the trading card with all my stats on the back and
Yeah,
stuff
of
like
course you
that.
did.
Yeah.
That kid.
You could tell that
Jackson
wasn't
was
even my
right there.
hat. Like,
You
they
need,
just-
hey, you need the ball put in play. Call that kid.
Yep. Gonna
He
grow
will
up to
put that
not
on
make
ball.
it anywhere playing
he
baseball.
will not. That is the anti-Javi Baez.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
He puts
I will
bat to
get
ball.
bat on ball no matter what. All right, let's get into my top 5. Like you guys said, just a ton that didn't make the list. I mean, what was it NBA Jam? I thought could have made the
Oh, it's
list.
great.
NBA Street, I
Yep.
thought could have made the list. Remember when you could use the Yeti?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like, that was
Volume
amazing.
1 and 2.
But here we go. Number 5, Tony Hawk. The reason I failed out at UAD my freshman year,
Yeah.
I was the
Tony Hawk
first
Pro
on
Skater.
floor 5 to break 1,000,000 points.
Oh.
PS1, Tony
wait,
Hawk.
are you blaming that on the refs?
Yeah, I always blame it on the refs. It has
Look
nothing
at
to do
him
with my
blaming it on the-
performance.
On the education system, not respecting the fact he got 1,000,000 points and he failed out of the freshman year. Refs are getting all the good players.
Oh, man, I spent so many hours playing Tony Hawk and smoking weed in my dorm room. It was
Hell yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That game literally was.
soundtracks
It was a
was fire.
problem.
Yeah.
It was a problem. Number 4, Battletoads.
Very
This
hard.
was
is that?
Such a hard game.
This was a
Battletoads
game
is
that
tough.
hopped into my head like the minute you sent that text to me this morning. I used to spend hours playing Battletoads.
Great game.
Why was it so hard?
I don't remember it being super hard. I just remember it being amazing.
It was tough. I
Is it?
had the one for the Game Boy, I
Okay.
believe. Yeah, it was
No, I played
real
on
tough.
Nintendo.
Okay,
so
hell
yeah, it was a fun game. It was just about space toads battling it out. You could they'd stretch out and kill. It was a fun game. I remember playing that as a kid. Number 3, Bill Lambier Combat Basketball.
What system?
Nintendo.
Never. You played it, Spenny?
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
see it?
You got.
I've
you've
heard
ne-
of it. I haven't played
You've
it.
never heard.
I've heard of it.
It's
I
one of
just
the
haven't
best
played it.
basketball
it's-
games ever.
It's the
It's gotta
dumbest
be like
basketball.
Street Jam.
It's a mix between what? Mortal
Hockey
Kombat and
and
basketball.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
You get into straight for there's bars when you get into the fights and stuff.
yeah, you could start provoking fights. And the
Yeah.
next thing you know, the two guys are fighting it out in the middle of the
Yeah.
basketball court. Bill Lambier Combat Basketball. D-Mac, like you, Blades of Steel. Another awesome fighting game. I almost went with ice hockey. not Blades of Steel in my hockey realm, but Blades of Steel, I do remember being the first game where you could fight and there was blood. So I remember loving that as a kid. And then number one, I don't know how this wasn't on any of your guys' list. I've owned every single edition of this video game since it's literally come out.
That's true, but that's why NFL 2K5 was better. I'm telling you.
I'm actually surprised.
That's why I didn't put
see
that
a lot
on
of
my
Twisted Metal in the comments.
Man's the best.
GTA, but no, I'm surprised that NCAA.
Yeah.
Madden, it depends on the year.
NCAA was up there.
Madden depends on the year.
There's so many games that I could have put on my list. You got Star Wars Battlefront 2, Modern Warfare 2, Final Fantasy 10. Like, there's just so
I know
many
the
games
question I wanted to ask while we're on it, because this is what we do when Neil's not here. We do the ones that he won't let us do. But is there a game that you remember? Because I remember a whole series that was too difficult. Like you just to put into
I hated
learning
Myst.
how to like to play whatever.
Yeah.
Like to me, it was always the Tom Clancy.
Oh yeah,
right, because you had to control everybody.
Splinter
And it was
Cell,
just like
Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Was one
But
of my
did you guys ever have like
Splinter
that?
Cell.
Because I wish I would have got into it because
love
everybody who
Splinter
does, but I just didn't have the video game brain of it.
Yeah. I had a game that I played for N60 or for PlayStation 2 when we used to take the Ethernet cable, plug it in the back of PlayStation 2 to play online. SOCOM Navy SEALs. That game was tough, man, because like you're literally you fight like Navy SEALs, so it's all super dark. You don't know where people are and shit. But that game was.
We used to play that on the PSP. That's like 08 because
That
we were
and
on the
Counter-Strike.
buses in
Counter-Strike
Grand
was good
Rapids.
too.
Ninja Gaiden was a very hard game as well.
Which one?
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden.
Oh yeah.
I had one for Kessen, I think it was called, for PlayStation 2, where you like, it was like, you like commanded armies, and like in like feudal Japan era, and so we were like sending in armies. It was like a strategy game kind of, but you also did like one-on-one fights with Lu Bu and like different heroes from our. It was a really fun game.
There was a game for the system called Sega CD where you could make music videos for songs that came out.
Wow.
Remember like Crisscross, I Missed the Bus was one of them. And you'd go in there and you put like different effects on it and stuff. It was a really weird but fun game to play.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I love video games,
Kenny,
man.
was there
Q-Bert?
anything-
Anybody play Q-Bert back in the day?
Q-Bert.
Oh yeah.
No,
Contra is a really
that was
tough
one of
game.
the
Contra was
The
dope.
Legend of Zelda games used to be so fucking difficult back in the day, especially the N64 Ocarina of Time. That's one of my
The Water
favorite
Temple?
Legend of Zelda. Yeah, oh my god, that was one of my favorite Legend of Zelda games, but extremely difficult back then.
Yeah, it's hard for me to not put Ocarina of Time or even Breath of the Wild on there.
Yeah,
But there's
Indie
just so
Zelda
many
game.
good video games, man.
Yeah. Command and Conquer, that was a great one.
Yep.
One Funky
Assassin's
Lions fan
Creed.
put that
Age
in.
of Empire. I used to play
Assassin's
Age of
Mario
Empire.
Paint, oh my god.
And StarCraft, Mario Tennis for N64.
Yep.
Was
Yeah.
cool.
How about when Wii came out?
Yeah.
Nobody
Super
mentioned
Mario
Wii
Strikers.
game.
Wii Sports,
Mario
what's up
Party.
with it?
Wii was sweet. Oh,
Wii
how about the
Sports?
Power Pad for Nintendo?
Yeah.
The track and field Power Pad.
Super Mario Strikers
Excite
was
Bike?
what,
Jeez.
it's my favorite soccer. I like it better than FIFA. Like the original Super Mario Strikers.
Yeah.
Game was sick.
Mario Kart.
Medal of Honor is a good
Steve
one
O
too.
baby, I do remember WWF Monday Night Raw for Super Nintendo.
Oh, that was a horrible game. It was a horrible wrestling game.
No Mercy still holds up,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh, to this day.
All right, let's go to break. Let's get back into some sports.
Sports.
I'll tell you about Mark White. What happens if you're looking to buy or sell your home? You should call Mark White because he'll save you up to $5,000 on your closing costs. That's right, $5,000. Just visit him at markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. Markwhitesells.com. Again, he'll save you up to $5,000 on your closing costs. Mark White should be your choice.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party. Every Lions home game live from Second Best Bar, Detroit. Enjoy the pregame hype with a live broadcast every week with Woodward sports personalities like Neil Rule, Sean Belegian, and the Heavyweights. Brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee and Les Stanford Automotive. Great drinks like Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Long Drink, great environment, and even better food. It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party live from Second Best Bar, Detroit. Brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee Roasters and Les Stanford Automotive. Come get some.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. We are out there on Monday, and we're out there every other week, pretty much every Victory Monday for the Detroit Lions. Come out to Novi, check it out. The morning show is live, and then, of course, Big D Energy. And if you're in the mood for a new car, they got all the vets you need. They got all the Suburbans. They got all the Tahoes. Anything you want. You want an EV like Neil Rule? Go to Feldman and get one. It's Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. All right, welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. Still going through some of these awesome games you guys mentioned. Dante151 in the chat, but first that is D-Mac. KG is here. Spenny is here as well.
Rayman.
The Jack and
Rayman
Dexter
was good.
series,
Shout out
Die
Jack
Hard
and Dexter.
Trilogy, Crash Bandicoot on PS1,
Yep.
Final Fantasy.
Final
and
Fantasy
then
10, yeah, that's a good one.
Hack
I
GU
like 10
series
too
on
better,
PS2. Also, shout out Ratchet and Clank series.
Dude,
One,
I'll
two,
tell you.
three.
I'll tell you this.
Shout out.
PlayStation had so many good trilogies.
So many.
Sly Cooper,
Yeah.
Jack and Daxter,
Oh, yeah.
Ratchet and Clank. Like the Up Your Arsenal and Deadlocked Ratchet and Clanks are so much fun.
Yeah. And Jay Thomas in the chat for Jet Set Radio Future. Hey, man, they not hip, bro. That is one of the best Xbox games to ever come out.
I'll tell you this: the evolution, because of seeing it. I've played the earlier versions or whatever here on Mark M. The FIFA Soccers.
Yeah.
That's as realistic as it gets.
Yeah.
FIFA is, that's one of the.
That's still
that's the
they
worldwide
they
top
get
game.
it in, as the kids say.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about two different franchises and how they're treating their players. Tigers have something good. They got something real good in a man called Tariq Skubal. They got an opportunity to lock him up for the foreseeable future. They come to him with an offer, D-Mac, that all reports are saying is, quote, laughable.
Carpaccio.
Dude is expecting to make $30 to $40 million per year on the open market. I don't know what laughable means. I'm not even going to pretend to guess. All I'm going to guess is it's not in the range of $30 to $40 million per year.
They said non-competitive.
You look at the Detroit Lions, and you look at the compliments they're getting for how they're treating Zadarius Smith when he got here, giving him a bye week to go down to Orlando to check on his home after the hurricane. You're hearing from agents that, wow, players are really talking about how not only are these Lions good, they take care of the man, not just the player. And then you flip over to the Tigers, who just had an incredible run, all based around one guy. I think we could say that, right? Without Skubal, that run doesn't happen. And you turn around and you slap this dude in the face with a low ball offer. What message does that send not only to that player, D-Mac, but to the rest of your franchise?
Well, first, where the sort and you hear multiple sources. Have you heard a response from Scott Harris, or have you heard Tarek Skubal or whatever?
No.
It's more or less posturing and whatever else. Now, if this is the truth, then you let him go and this comes out, because the truth will come out. So this is sort of like, oh, you're hearing the rumblings of it, but nothing's been official. Nothing's been said. It would bother me. Yeah, obviously, if you're not going to make a commitment to him, we've said that all along. Now are the questions. So, but in saying that, what is it, November? Mm-hmm. February, pitchers and catchers
He's
report.
got 2 years. He's still got 2 years
January,
control.
3 months.
Yeah, that's
so
a fact.
let's just wait to hear a response.
Yeah.
No,
You know, like if they give us the old mouth, and all I'm saying is just let me react after I hear what either Skubal comes out and says, his agent comes out and says on his behalf, the Tigers, Scott Harris, they respond, how are they doing this? If you don't hear anything, then stir the pot to whatever. If you ask me right now, does this disturb you if this is true? If you ask me, does this disturb you if it's true as a Tiger fan? Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's true.
Yeah, and
Because then it gets back to okay, what's the plan? So I'm not gonna, dude. We got other things to worry about, right? But this is something that did we not say? The questions now after the season going up will be. We're gonna have to have the Javi question: is he getting bought out? What is this?
Yeah.
Right now, if they're gonna focus on Tarek Skubal getting his contract set, perfect. But let me just give them both sides a little bit of credit to wait to see.
Right. It's very early.
It's just not the pundits, right? Am I right?
Yes.
It's the
Evan Petzel reported.
Yeah, it's the Detroit Free Press reported it, and it was a non-competitive offer, is what they said.
And
To me,
D-Mac, I do agree it's very early in the process, and it could just be a negotiation
But was it like
tactic.
a qualifying offer? Like, do you have to submit a qualifying offer?
He still
or
got
is
2
it-
years as a team.
Well, yeah, he's
and
still
it wasn't
under
a qualifying offer.
This is just an extension offer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They already have him for 2 years.
Yeah, he's not signing a qualifying offer because it's too low.
I mean, they got him pretty much for nothing for the next 2 years. And
Dude, and don't
But
get it twisted.
he
I
can
ain't making
posture if he
excuses,
wants.
but can I get a response? Like, how is that not like?
Yeah.
Like, if we're here, yes, it's disturbing if it's true,
No.
but do we know it's?
We don't know, but
So can we wait?
I mean, if
You want to
look,
throw it on your plate?
if you look at some of the reports that's coming out as far as like Scott Harris and his philosophy approaching
Then we've been
this
lied to and it's
free
been on
agency
brand
deadline,
to
it's
them
just,
not improving it and saving money.
Right, right.
But
No, I
let's
get
wait
it,
and
but-
see if that's the truth.
What concerns me is that, okay, yeah, it could be a negotiation tactic, but when you look at who the agent is, it's Scott Boras, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're already not building a good relationship with Scott Boras, and another person that is also a Scott Boras client is Alex Bregman, somebody as Tiger fans we would love to have here.
That's
And
one of
it's
the targets.
And it's also somebody that the Tigers appear to have no interest in at all. So that leads me to believe the relationship between the Tigers and Scott Boras is not good, and that's not going to fare well once Skubal hits arbitration. That's when it's going to be a problem.
And that was the point of me bringing
Is
this
Scott
up
Harris
the way I
telling
brought it
Skubal,
up,
"Get
right?
out of there"?
Like what the Lions are doing and what the Tigers are doing are two completely different ways of going about
it's
it.
a fact,
The
yeah.
Lions are now being talked about in the rooms with agents and players as a team that will not only pay you if you do well, they'll take care of you as a man and your family, and you get to go to a winning organization.
Right.
The Tigers just had the winning organization part figured out, right?
Mm-hmm.
They won a playoff series. They're on the upswing. They have some momentum. And then you could easily follow that up with even overpaying Skubal right now to show, hey, we're fucking serious this next year.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. We're going to spend money. And now guess what? You got Skubal locked in. Now you could go to a Bregman and be like, hey, we got our starting five locked in. We just need to start adding pieces. So to me, the fact that they don't have it done yet just shows like it's showing other free agents that they're not that serious about winning right now. I want this to just I want the progression to keep going. And to do that, you got to show that you're serious about paying people real money.
Exactly. And even if they lowballed him, why does that report come out this early in the process? That leads me to believe the agent is leaking this information. Like I don't like the way it's smelling right now, and a big reason why people were on the trade Skubal train. It wasn't because of Skubal himself. Nobody here wants to trade Tarek Skubal.
Well,
but if he's going to walk after 2 years and you've essentially wasted his time as a Tiger, then what the hell are we doing here as a franchise?
Did you guys really think it's necessary, though, to sign him this year to a big contract if we got him for 2 more years?
It's not necessary, but the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be, it appears.
I agree with both of those.
With everything you said, Kenny, what it tells me is that Scott Boras might be telling him, dude, you need to get out of there.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Schools
I know
has
you
been
don't want it, but
non-committed.
you're
I don't
asking
want
me,
that.
what do you
Tiger,
read?
I'm
That's
just-
my read right now. Maybe that's the case.
It doesn't matter. It all comes down to, are they going to pay him? He's going to make
Tarek
upwards
Skubal's
of-
going to get his money.
He's going to make upwards of $30 million a year,
Yes.
no matter where he is. If it's going to
gonna
be
be
in
the highest
Detroit
paid
or
pitcher.
not, yeah.
So pay the man his money.
He's the best pitcher in baseball. He deserves that money.
This man is
I mean,
And
we
if you-
learn like if you haven't learned the lesson with
Right.
Scherzer, with Verlander, even when Price left, Porcello left. Like,
Right.
how many times do you have to learn this lesson before you just pay him?
And if
Well,
you're
then
not
maybe
going to
that
pay
should
him,
worry you because the consistency is that bye-bye. We
Right.
don't care.
But then they'll overpay a Baez and, like, say what you
Right,
want. They
right.
did overpay Miggy at the end of his career, even though I don't think you can overpay Miggy for what he did for this
At that
franchise.
time.
So here's the
Yeah,
question.
Right.
It's not the Baez decision whether they buy him out or whatever they do. It's the Skubal decision of how they treat this long-term
Right.
contract that should determine
Yeah.
what direction
And
they're going.
Yeah.
if you're not going to pay him, you need to supplement this team with some talent and chase a World Series in the next 2 years.
If you don't pay a guy like Skubal, who do you
You're not
pay?
paying anybody.
You're not.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets scary, right?
This is the
it's
new
like,
supposed
okay, well
to be
then
the
we're
new
never,
Tigers,
ever,
the new
ever.
culture, the Tigers, right?
Tell us about KDK Law.
KDK Law. If Scooble breaks up, he's going to want to keep some of his stuff. And KDK Law will make sure that happens. Hell, they may even be helping Scott Boras negotiate his contract. That's how good these people are at getting you what you want. Divorce, family, criminal law, they will take care of you. KDK Law right here in Birmingham. Go to kdklawoffice.com.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party. Every Lions home game live from Second Best Bar, Detroit. Enjoy the pregame hype with a live broadcast every week with Woodward sports personalities like Neil Rule, Sean Belegian, and the Heavyweights. Brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee and Les Stanford Automotive. Great drinks like Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Long Drink, great environment, and even better food. It's the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame watch party live from Second Best Bar, Detroit. Brought to you in part by Sabbath Coffee Roasters and Les Stanford Automotive. Come get some.
Could be my favorite promotion. Woodward Sports and Les Stanford want you to reward you for out-kicking your coverage. Yes, you heard that right. It's your significant other is hotter than you. You could win tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. Find the best pick for her with the average-looking you and post it on X or Instagram. The hashtag Woodward Tickets. Stick, you already said we got some beauties coming in. You already said we got beauties.
I'm looking at them right now.
He's looking at the beauties. Tag
Spenny,
at Woodward Sports and follow us
Yeah.
to enter. We will announce a winner on November 25th. I'll kick your coverage from Woodward Sports and Les Stanford Chevrolet, Cadillac GMC, and Buick in Dearborn and Ferndale. Remember, Les Stanford Cadillac together. Let's drive.
I don't. It's going to be tough to beat David Tully. Look at this. Look at this guy.
Is it in Slack anywhere?
No, just go to
that's
Twitter.
A sick stash, though.
And like
that should be another one.
Go to the tweet.
He look like Ron Jeremy from
He got
a
the
distance.
handlebar mustache, but a hottie on his arm, man. And here's the deal. That's what the fun thing about this promotion is. Like, we debate this in the back. It's a point differential thing, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a super hot girl, but you're like a gym rat hot guy, and let's say you're an 8 and she's a 10, that's a 2-point differential.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let's say your girl's a 6 and you're a 2. Well, that's a 4-point differential.
Yeah.
So that's better than having a 10 if you're a 2. So, guys, everybody can get into this contest. That's the best
So,
part about
girls,
it.
this is the one time it pays off to be with that auger.
David Tully's winning it so far in my book. Can
I see?
Matt Kittle, he's doing well. That was the handlebar.
Oh, that was the one you said?
Yeah, that was the handlebar. We got. If you want to see
Leader in
some
the
of the
clubhouse.
entries right now, go to Twitter.
Damn.
There's a post. Yeah, see, he did well. He did well for himself.
That's a 5-point swing for sure.
And that's the important part, right?
Yeah.
I love the hallway banter it creates here,
Oh,
especially
that's a good-
leading up to us
there's a couple.
announcing the winner. Yeah, there's some good ones in there. Don't swipe left, though. Thanks.
Oh, God.
You
You're going to be upset if you keep scrolling to the left. No.
Hey, you got the phone. You ever done that? Like hand your phone to somebody?
Oh, yeah.
Like
We've all
past the
done it.
30-second mark, you're like, all right, all right.
You're right.
Hidden folder, man. Just gotta use the hidden folder. I got all my
shit that you
all my money makers are
But you
in
never
there.
know what's going to come
Stick
through
with
while
Leave the
someone's got
Baby
the
over
phone.
here. Stick with Leave the Baby over here for hours with me. Phone 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, got it.
Right. Got to hand that back.
So make sure you get in the Outkick Your Coverage contest. We'll announce a winner not this coming up Monday, but the next Monday before the Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. Les Stanford, thank you for being a part of this. You know, sometimes it's hard to find sponsors for these contests because some people don't want to do edgy things, and like, this isn't that edgy. Les
this
Stanford
is
was
awesome.
like, "Oh, I'm so about this."
Yeah.
He was so excited.
Is this not fun?
Shout out
is.
to
It's
Weston
what-
Stanford.
It's what it should be
There's a lot
about.
of
You know what
ugly
else is
mofos
fun?
out there.
Red Wings picking up W's.
Yes.
How's that going to happen, D-Mac? That is the
let's
question.
start by shooting the puck.
Okay. It's
And
still.
he's gotta
I mean,
score
I was
more
filling in
goals.
last week. That was the issue last week. Still the issue this
We
week.
got shots on net in our last.
No, now they got to put the puck in the net.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Okay.
goes without saying. And I mean, the game against New York wasn't as bad as the score, even though it's just frustrating. As much as you felt the Lions on Sunday coming back, you just knew that they weren't gonna score.
Yeah.
Right?
2012
So,
Jonathan
and-
Quick out there.
What's that?
Yeah, 2012 prime Jonathan Quick, 40 save shutout. Like,
Yeah,
Jesus,
but
man.
it's just what you're dealing with now, so they have to find a way. I mean, Lucas Raymond's pressing and stuff like this. It would be nice to see him get on the board, but it doesn't get any easier. Can we agree that the goaltending isn't the problem, right? Sometimes the lack in the system and stuff like this, and just there's no consistent flash like at the end of the year.
Yep.
Right? Like the urgency. That's what it is, Spenny. It's urgency. And I don't know if that's through the schedule and maybe they're not getting enough reps with each other as a
urgency-
young team. Enough ice time, enough practice time.
I was gonna say, doesn't urgency come from your coach? Isn't that the person that instills it in the
I
team?
think so. There's something off that when it consistently looks sort of the same, even the message and stuff. But am I wrong with the eyeball test? We're talking about, right, like with Cade's turnovers, like the wings. It just last year it felt like the puck was going to find a way to get in the net. We weren't. What was the one thing that we thought we'd solve? We weren't worried about scoring goals.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So. I don't know.
How does
How
does that not carry over year to year? And I know there's a whole off season in between. Other teams
But it's
get
about
better.
fighting to be consistent for 60 minutes and doing that right things. And it's not just, playing this dump and chase style. It's being creative and that energy. It's an energy.
It is.
That I'm not seeing that they had.
They look flat in the offensive zone.
They look like they're looking around.
Yeah.
Like they're afraid. They're either for the perfect play or they're afraid or, it's tough when everybody sort of is colder at the same time. Now, like guys are grinding. I mean, they're playing hard. I mean, Dylan Larkin plays hard. Lucas Raymond, even though he's not scoring, he's finding a way on the score sheet. The power play here and there. But it's just to me, it's the consistency, right? It's the consistency and the urgency. And to your point, yes, I think it comes from the coach. So. Again, I said I'd wait till, 20 games to really hammer in. But right now, I'm missing something.
What can a coach do in that situation? I mean, you've been a part of teams that probably got
you
off
gotta
to
know the
sluggish
justice.
starts. I guess I don't know this coach well enough to know, is he the type of guy that knows how to push the correct buttons with the correct guys to get this thing back on track?
Well, you'll have to see. You got to believe that he is because he's at the helm to do it. Usually it's combinations, right? Usually it's mixing up. It's energies. It's trying to get this guy with that guy with this guy.
Do you see enough experimenting?
What's that?
Do you see enough experimenting with that to try to find that proper lineup?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that's the thing because that develops in practice. So one thing that I always said about a Scotty Bowman coached hockey team is that you'd be on the bench during a game and he'd get frustrated and he'd just yell three different guys from three different lines, but it was comfortable because in practice at some point you skated together. So we all sort of knew what was to expect, and it's all about doing your own job to the best of the ability. It's not as doom and gloom as it feels. But it feels like it could be. Like there's
You're teetering.
Spenny, you know what it is? It feels right now. It feels some sort of tightrope that I don't need to be walking on.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It's uncomfortable and it's not enjoyable. I'd rather, I sit here, I don't know what to tell you, but I'd rather throw on and watch the Pistons play than watch the Wings play.
100%. They're playing tentative. They're not attacking in the offensive zone. They're not battling for pucks or to keep the puck. Like a guy that the Red Wings, I know obviously you could drop in anybody on the Red Wings. You'd pick Stevie or Gordy or something, but Henrik Zetterberg would be so perfect for this team right now, to have a guy that can control the puck the way he does in the offensive zone, use his body, use his reach to keep the puck away from people. It seems like they're just getting into the zone and they don't know what to do. The offense isn't getting set up fast enough and they're playing tentative. But we saw it a little bit in New York, where they went out there and they had 37 plus shots on net, and that was something that I love to see. But like I said, you had fucking prime Jonathan Quick out there looking like Jonathan Quick in the Kings jersey in 2012, stopped 40 shots. So that one sucks. But if they could play with the same pace, aggressiveness, and cohesion on offense that they played in New York with, they'll beat Pittsburgh. Like they
Mike
need to
G
play.
in the chat. D-Mac, we don't have any wingers who want to outwork you. We have wingers who expect the puck from someone else, and that's the problem, man. Do you agree with that assessment?
Ding, give him a ding. You know, like that's what it's leaning towards.
Okay.
Right? And you need the combination of each. And maybe that's what we're talking about as far as lines. You have too many guys. But I don't see that because, you know, Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond play as hard down low as anything else. So it's not that they're not trying the effort. I'm going to go with, let's see tonight. Because at least the other night,
I liked what I saw.
At least the other night, right? And I took so much away. Look at the 2 losses that you had to New York in your rink. The first one, it was like 2 different teams. That one, you got beat by a better team, but you didn't execute. It's almost like everybody's timid, and they gotta just let it go and go out and play like they don't give a shit, right?
Yeah.
So to that point, it's too much. Not enough urgency. That's all I'm going to say.
How long did it take Stevie to build that team in Tampa Bay?
Well, when you get the picture right, it was like 8 years.
8 years. How long has he been here now? Is this 4 or 5?
8. Well, no, 5.
This year
6.
Year 6.
Yeah.
This is 6th year. Doesn't matter. It's a different thing where the books are, where you pick who you had coming in. You had Vasilevsky ready to play early.
No, I get it. I just want to temper my expectations, you know, because, like, I'll be completely honest, hockey isn't my super strong suit, right? So that's why when hockey comes up, I kind of let you and Spenny talk it out. But as in the sports atmosphere, 8 years is a long time to rebuild anything and at any sport.
It takes a lot longer in hockey, though, with these guys. These guys aren't even seeing, most of them shouldn't even be seeing NHL ice until 3 years after they're drafted.
So was the well that dry when Stevie got here?
It was drier than it was for Brad Holmes when Brad Holmes took over.
Yeesh.
Like it's easier to flip in the NFL too, but yeah, what Ken Holland left Stevie Y to walk into was bad. The cupboards were bare, and we had guys like Damian Brunner and stuff like that But I just think that this team going forward, they're just missing that piece. They're just missing that superstar guy. And Larkin's playing at a superstar level, but they don't have that guy offensively that's going to give you 50 goals a year. And we thought Lucas Raymond was going to take that jump, and he's averaging a point a game, but he hasn't been able to get him in the back of the net. And somebody needs to stand up, step up, and start hitting some pucks in the back of the net.
You know what? Kenny Holland didn't do Steve Yzerman quite as bad as Jim Harbaugh did Sharon Morris when he walked out, but he did him dirty.
That's a fact.
Come on, Michigan's got 3 first-round draft picks on defense.
Like, I'd always question until Neil
Neil's
explained, do you understand the salary cap and the way the contracts and the knot that he was in? Now it's time. They got to get better, and maybe it's not like it's just you either have patience or you don't.
Yeah.
And you either see progress or you don't. I mean, I just don't. They need a little bit more. They need some fire.
Yeah, you can watch it happen. You can watch these guys, you know, like Simon Evanson. He matured. They took his time. They brought him up, and now he is playing lights out. I expect guys like Danielson and ASP when they come up here eventually, which hopefully next year is the timetable for both of those guys. They're going to be as a similar strength level of Simon Evanson when it comes to playing in there. Hopefully we'll see Danielson and ASP by the end of the year this year. But if you're going to watch these Red Wings, you got to watch them with something. But no other team in Detroit is as fun to watch as the Detroit Lions, and you can do it live at Hayes Social with the Woodward Heavyweights. We got that live watch party and the post-game show with Stick and Anson, both live at Hayes Social, presented by New Holland Brewing Company, Sabbath Coffee Roasters, Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza, and 1800 Tequila. Come out and join us. It's a lot of fun, always at Hayes Social.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
You're an ugly guy. That's okay, because you have a hot girl on your arm. Now Woodward Sports and Les Stanford want to reward you for outkicking your coverage.
I am ugly as by traditional standards.
That's right. If your significant other's hotter than you could win tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. So find the best pic of her with the average-looking you and post it on X or Instagram.
U-D-L-I-N, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. What? You ugly.
Make sure you tag at Woodward Sports and follow us Winter. We'll announce the winner November 25th. Then you and your much better-looking lady will get tickets to watch Dan Campbell and the Kneecappers.
We're going to buy the kneecap off.
Inside of Ford Field on Thanksgiving. So find the best pic of her and the worst pic of you. And show us all how you outkicked your coverage.
Your mama said you ugly. Hey.
From Woodward Sports and Les Stanford.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken Pizza now has signature wings for a limited time offer. They got 7 different flavors to choose from. Try them all and choose your favorite. My personal favorite is the spicy garlic. But try them all while you can. Like I said, limited time offer, so get them now. Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza. To find a Soroki's near you, go to Sorokis.com.
Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. Darren McCarty is here. KG is here. And, of course, Spencer Raxter. Amon-Ra St. Brown talking about James Houston, having some fun with it, laughing about, I think he confirmed that it was not Gatorade.
He shit his pants for sure.
That it was not what?
Gatorade. Because James Houston said he sat on Gatorade.
Hell no.
That's not Gatorade. That's doo-doo, baby.
Who said it wasn't?
James Houston says it wasn't. Everybody says it
Amon-Ra
wasn't.
says
It's
it
the
was?
new brown flavor.
Amon-Ra
Gatorade.
St. Brown was having a good time laughing about it, but it's
Y'all ain't tasted that new brown flavor again?
it's got to be weird as a grown ass man where every national sports talk station is talking about you pooping your pants.
Hey, man,
He got the sack.
If you've never shit your pants in the heat of battle, you didn't want it bad enough.
Yeah,
That's a fair
all I
point.
said was I'm glad he wasn't the center.
Boys,
Oof, man.
boys.
Yeah.
Listen, don't act like you never sharded.
Yeah, we've
He
all
didn't
been there.
get paid for it.
Right.
He got paid for it. Don't
And he
worry
got a
about
sack.
him.
Hey,
He
at least he
afford a
didn't
new
leave
one.
in the
They got, hey,
Well, and
they'll
he's
give
gonna
him
get
a
that
whole
dude
brand new
wipe
set
money.
when he gets in there.
He didn't leave in a wheelchair like Paul Pierce. So.
Yeah, it's true. Paul
What?
Pierce shit his pants and got carried out in a wheelchair.
Yeah. And then he came back in like he was Willis Reed.
Yeah, it,
God,
it
I
was
hated Paul
awesome,
Pierce.
man.
I hated Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker so much.
I hate Paul Pierce too. I
hated both those
I
guys.
love Paul Pierce now.
Do
At
you?
this era in his life where he's
Like smoking weed.
Yeah,
With strippers that
live
got
on
fired.
live on ESPN during the day, at night live on Instagram with strippers and blunts like that. That was awesome. I hated Paul Pierce as a player.
Yeah.
He looks like a gerbil, and he plays just so slow and annoying, and he was so good. I hate Paul, and I hate the Celtics. The Celtics are the worst.
All right, well, we talked about Jared Goff bouncing back this week against the Jags. Outside of Jared Goff, who do you think is going to have a big game, Spenny? Let's just pick one name on offense.
One name on offense?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go with Jameson Williams. I mean, you look at last week in a struggling offense, he was one of the bright spots. He made some big catches, some contested catches over the middle. Jared Goff's not going to be getting beat up as much as he was in that game against Houston. So it's easy to pick Gibbs or Monty because they're probably both going to have big games as well. But I think J-Mo will get going, and he's going to have a big catch in this game.
What about
at
you,
least one.
KG?
Easy, Jameer Gibbs. Jameer, they're going to have to run the ball a lot. Jared Goff's not going to have to throw the ball a lot because the run game is going to work. I mean, the only person you really worried about from the Jaguars defense is Trayvon Walker. And I'm not really worried about him. So Jahmyr Gibbs has a big day on the ground.
Ryan's reaction in the chat is chanting Monty. On offense, T-Mac, who's going to have a big week for the Lions?
No, I think that would, like what we talked all about today, them wanting to establish that offensive, how do you bounce back by showing not only your team but your coaches and stuff like this. So this offensive line is going to play a big part. So I look at it as Sonic and Knuckles are the two-headed monsters. So whichever way they play, I think it's on the ground. But for some reason, I think that's the game plan. But for some reason, I think this is like a Tim Patrick get-right game.
I like that.
Like a reward. You know how like last year when it seemed like one of these games and the focus would be on the Josh Reynolds-ish, but it's, and he's been there to make big plays at big moments, and you see him always around blocking and stuff. So I'm going to just go on a little bit of a limb that he at least gets involved more than he's been.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like the Tim Patricks, the Allen Robinsons, the Khalif Raymonds, the Sion Vakis of the world, how much run they're going to get in this game and how really the backups are going to perform, because we're all looking past the starters playing, right?
Yes.
Everybody in this room?
Yes.
That may be a mistake, but Vegas is telling us it's not.
I don't think it's a mistake.
A 14-point dog going
Jags
into
ain't
this.
them.
So I'm interested to see what happens with those secondary guys. And Tim Patrick was kind of going to be the guy that I talked about, or a Khalif Raymond, because they're going to be keying on J-Mo. They're going to be keying on Amon-Ra St. Brown. We don't know if Laporta's going to play. If Laporta doesn't play, maybe get a Brock Wright breakout game.
Yeah.
Could be.
Anybody?
That's a
Brock
good-
Wright anytime touchdown?
I don't hate that at all.
I can see it.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
see
call.
the path.
Yeah, I like Brock Wright. He adds his blocking to the team. Let's go to the chat. We still got Monty in here, J-Mo, St. Brown, Gibbs, Demo, everybody. They're going to put up 55-3. MRK says that. Man, do you think they're going to put up more points than they did against the Tennessee Titans?
No.
Probably not, but it'll be up there.
They're the Titans, yeah.
It'll be in
they're
the
the
40s, though.
Probably not.
Titans had the number 1 ranked defense coming into that game.
Yeah, but
The Jags do not.
Jags do not. But the Titans' defense is a little fraudulent.
D-Mac, when you were playing, did you ever have like a game where you were just salivating to beat up on a team where you're like, okay, this is just going to be fun?
Yeah. Oh yeah. At different times, even think back to not even professionally, but just as a kid, high school, junior, stuff like this, where you're gonna eat. Like I can eat tonight, right? It's like it's that confidence. So you have to, and that's where you look at where the focus is. It's not overlooking them. It's just going out there and being able to do what you want, execute what you want. And I think that the biggest point is the greatest scenario happened where you feel like you lost, you pull the win out. It doesn't hurt you, but you learn from your mistake from last week and you come out really prepared this week.
Was there ever a game like that where you knew you were going to win and you came out and lost, though?
Oh, there's always, it's Game 7 of the friggin' 09 Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, I mean, that's different. That's Stanley Cup
it's
Finals.
not.
That's a
That was some
coin
bullshit.
flip,
I cried.
right? You
Well,
weren't.
not really.
They weren't a team you were thinking you were just going to beat up.
No, but it was Game
At home,
7.
though.
You're
supposed to
win that.
There's no way.
gotta
There's
win
no
that.
way they can have everybody out.
I
in their
cried.
Nice
Fucking
clothes
Sydney
and
cried.
not have a party.
Oh man,
That's
I was
wrong.
at the Fox Theater watching that game,
So
just
wrong.
waiting to flood Woodward with everybody celebrating. Oh
I
God,
was at my house crying.
We're
Thanks
supposed
for
to be
bringing up
back
the
to
good
back,
times.
man.
yeah. Anytime,
No, but
D-Mac. Anytime you want to
so
talk about that stuff.
And it's that's what they learned last week. Whether it was they didn't come out sharp, we can all agree from the first tip pass to whatever. Like it wasn't sharp. When Goff pump fakes, has the guy up the middle, whoever it was, and slides off his hand. Like that's what you're gonna look for. Sharp execution out of the bat, and then it's like, okay, we get going. First possession, here we go. Then we're off to the races. You dictate what you do.
Well, sorry to bring that up, D-Mac, but
No,
this
that's
is
all right,
this is one of those games where I
got
think.
four.
Lucky
Make
I've
up
had
for
a
it.
good week.
Yeah, no, yeah. When's the launch? This Saturday, right?
Saturday, yeah.
Saturday, the launch of D-Max.
Saturday, yes. The D-Mac brand coming back
I have
out.
to get some of that.
Any of
yeah,
you
big
are in
fan.
the area, Puff, Utica, M59, and Van Dyke, We're doing it because Legacy Cannabis, which is for the Reptilian, which is right around the corner. So big day, back in the market. So happy about that. Anybody wants to come out, get autograph, let's take a picture, say hello, get some green. Let's go.
I'll be there.
I know.
Do we get a Woodward Sports discount?
What's that?
Do we get a discount?
I'm sure we can work on something.
Hey,
I'll take some weight.
I've had that Legacy brand, that DMAC pack. It's A1.
You say you're doing something with
Kenny got his DMAC discount card.
You damn right
we're talking about Neil doesn't.
Neil doesn't.
Neil does too.
Neil
Well,
does not.
we're talking about Neil's always big about the cards that he's applied for. And
Right.
Kenny
Still in
gatekeeps,
circulation
so
right now. We
goes
trying to work
both
something
ways.
out.
What about, let's talk about Planet Fitness. Come back, do some mailbag questions.
Mailbag coming up next. Get your questions in the chat right now. But let me tell you about Planet Fitness. Over 50 Metro Detroit locations, and you can go there for just $15 and get the best gym membership of your life. Your fitness is essential. That's why you should go to Planet Fitness. Just drive around. There's one near you.
You're an ugly guy. That's okay, because you have a hot girl on your arm. Now Woodward Sports and Les Stanford want to reward you for outkicking your coverage.
I am ugly as by traditional standards.
That's right. If your significant other's hotter than you can win tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. So find the best pic of her with the average-looking you and post it on X or Instagram.
You and you ain't got no alibi. You ugly. What? You ugly.
Make sure you tag at Woodward Sports and follow us to enter. We'll announce the winner November 25th. Then you and your much better-looking lady will get tickets to watch Dan Campbell and the Kneecappers
We're going to buy the kneecap off.
inside of Ford Field on Thanksgiving. So find the best pic of her and the worst pic of you and show us all how you outkicked your coverage.
Your mama said you ugly. Hey.
From Woodward Sports and Les Stanford.
Let me tell you about Dr. Pierce, our injury insider, and lately his videos have been blowing up on YouTube. People want to know what Dr. Pierce has to say, and he does it here every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Woodward Sports Network, one time on BDE, one time on Ermanni and Edwards. And if you need help with your back, go to the man that DMAC trusted, Dr. Jeff S. Pierce at the Michigan Sports and Spine Center. Final segment of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule today. Darren McCarty is here, KG, Spenny, and it is mailbag time. I love this from Mike G, kind of bringing it back from the conversation we had to kick off the show about Cade Cunningham. D-Mac, was there ever a ref that you didn't like when you were playing?
No, I got along pretty much with all of them. Like the whole, they're all different. So you got to figure out which way you have to be. Some you could mess around with and swear in front of and have a conversation, respectfully. Others like Bill McCreary, Mr. Referee, Mr. McCreary, sir. It's like a principal. He'd toss you in a second. And then there are other guys. Like it was a respect level, right? So if they earned that respect, but if they didn't earn the respect and you let them know,
Yeah.
right? The most important part though is what you guys forget is the linesman, right? For guys like me, the linesmen are your best friend because they like you. They'll protect you. They'll make sure that you're breaking up a fight and you're into it, that you're not going to get hit with a late punch or whatever. Or in the other case, hey, you know what? You got a good rapport. Maybe the linesman's a little late in grabbing you so you can get that last one in. So it's all politics, right? But it's all individual, and you have to know what makes each referee and what they like. A lot for me, too, is there was probably 6 or 7 that we came up at the same time through junior and the minors, and you know what I mean? So you started a rapport. So it does matter.
It's not like
They're all
Sheed and
different.
Tim Donaghy back in the day. If you guys remember Rasheed Wallace, a lot of people thought when he assaulted or confronted an official after a game in Portland that he was the bad guy and all this. Well, fast forward 7 to 10 years and you find out, guess who was shaving points? The referee. So I people who bash Sheed for that, I hope you apologize to that man when you see him. DNC Entertainment. Would it be better if Jay Ivey averaged 5 turnovers per game. I mean, the more the better of what I'm being told today. Let's push it. As long as they get the wins, he can average 47 turnovers a game.
I mean,
that's all we care about, right?
If they win games and he's averaging 10 turnovers, I don't care.
Right. No, the best players in the league turn the ball over. That's just what we're told.
I mean, it's kind of true.
Turnovers than Cade
It's kind of true.
No, if you look at the top 10, it's like Luka, it's Wemby.
Yeah, it's the usage, man.
Yeah,
it's the usage rate.
It's a lot. But all jokes aside, I don't want Jaden Ivey to turn the ball.
I don't want anybody to.
I love the progression that young man is going through right now, and it's another one of those things where I'm just going to shut up until it's over, because he's only getting better, and I don't want it to stop.
That's a fact.
But I do think sometimes he may be your closer on that team.
I'm not mad at that. Some nights it just depends. Yeah.
And that's.
But when you got a two-headed.
But you would have murdered
like
me 2 months ago for saying that.
Because he wasn't that player 2 months ago.
But he was.
And
that's the thing.
And once I brought up the fact that he was stunted by Monty, so I will give you that. But he wasn't that player that he is this year.
Oh, David Witt said she just had Tim Donahue on a podcast. I would love to. I got to find that.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing. Was there ever like an official in the NHL you felt was shaving points or helping out teams? No, it was pretty on the up and up.
No, NHL's got the best.
There's something it's just like anything else, right? Like I think more so today's day and age with everything mic'd up and technology and whatever, you hear what goes on, but like there's some like. If as a referee gets disrespected, he's gonna hold it against you.
Yeah.
Like, so there's always a balancing act, right? Like it's always like if I got Steve Eisman losing his mind over here, or Shanny or whoever like this, well, I'm gonna play peacemaker and try to be the diplomatic one.
Right,
and that's my role. What it usually was. I always got along with them and stuff like this, but sometimes it didn't matter. And for the most part, no. I think for the honor of the integrity of the game, but also too, you're talking to a guy who one of the most nefarious actions in hockey history, kneeing the guy in the head and getting 4 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct, not getting kicked out of the game.
Getting kicked out of the game. That was the important part.
Yeah, because I scored the overtime winner.
Yeah, that definitely changed the course of history, them letting you stay in the game. Yeah. Man, it must be nice to knee people in the head and then come back and hit the winner. Like, what? It's got to be a great feeling. Thank you for joining Big D Energy today. We appreciate you guys in the chat. Coming up next, we got Ermanni and Edwards with, I believe, Anson is going to be in the seat today. So make sure you stick around for that. Then we got the heavyweights later on tonight, 5 to 7. So you can get more, spend more racks in your life. Do that tonight, KG. Thank you for doing the sound. D-Mac, thank you for everything that you do, period, in general, in life, and here at Woodward Sports. Spend more racks. My name is Stick. We are out of here.
Deuces.
See you tomorrow. Terry Foster will be in tomorrow.